The days are still rolling. We're not at the end of the year yet. Our prayer is that we get there and enter the new year. Sometimes you get on the very cusp of it, but you don't make it through. In this instance, we don't want to be like Moses. In this instance, we want to enter the promised land of 2024. It's great having you join us on the AM show one more time. Good morning to you and welcome aboard. Now, coming up shortly, the news, and right after which will be followed by the news review. Guess who joins us today? The NPP's parliamentary candidate for Bole Bamboy, Raphael Kuma, is our guest. You remember a few days ago, we spoke to the NDC's candidate. Today, we will be hanging out with the NPP's candidates. And that will be followed by sports with Mubarak Haruna, who will present that segment. Then we get into the big stories. It's our end-of-year conversations. And Dr. Dixon Adumaku-Kisi, Member of Parliament for Anyaso Utuom, will join us together with Maxwell Lukutor, NDC's parliamentary candidate for South Tong. Of course, the Anyaso Utuom MP is with the NPP. Now, we've also got a stint with Yabo Liver Enterprise. They are marketers of Future Life Smart Foods, Zero Sugar. Now, Future Life Zero Smart Food is a smart because it is a scientifically formulated low GI food that combines 22 vitamins and minerals, 19 amino acids, omega-3, inulin, that is probiotic, selenium, and Moducare. All these benefits with zero added cane sugar. Those are the benefits. We'll be telling you a lot more about them later on the show. But we'll also be hosting officials of Globe Productions to talk about the second coming of Nkrumah, that play, and the African Festival. Latif Abubakar will be joining us for that conversation. So stick and stay. We have the best for you this morning. We'll be right back with the news. Welcome aboard the AM News. Let's get into our first story now. Some youth from Yadzo, a community where two footballers died on Christmas Eve, allegedly due to activities of National Security or COCOBOD Task Force operatives on Wednesday, besieged the residence of the District Chief Executive for KJB to present a petition to him concerning the situation. The protesters say the explanations provided by the DCE on the presence of the task force is unacceptable. Correspondent Peter Senu was with the protesters and came through with this report.
The protesters, most of whom were present during the visit to the family on Tuesday by the DCE, say they are angry at the turn of activities of the COCOBOD task force in the district. Amidou Abdullahi spoke on behalf of the protesters. They say the death of the two players is a big loss to the district, the family, and the nation.
What happened 2 days ago, a barbaric act against our own brothers, the future, they've robbed us of the future of Akan, Ghana, and the whole country at large. Our youth, our vibrant youth, very young guys, energetic young boys' lives have been taken off without any recourse to any issue. They've done nothing wrong. These guys were coming from their own place, from where they've gone to do whatever it is that they've gone to do. People claiming that they are national security operatives carelessly drive their vehicle and veered off the road, killing these two young talented footballers of ours. We are not happy. We don't know the presence of these guys in our constituency.
They deny any knowledge of smuggling of cocoa beans to Togo in the area.
Our DC claims he doesn't know that these guys are in the constituency. It is so unfortunate that the district chief executive of a constituency doesn't know that there are other people coming outside the country, national, into his constituency, operating for over 1 month. And DC claims he has no knowledge about it. We are not happy. We are only here to express our displeasure. They claim that there is smuggling going on. We have no knowledge about it.
But he alleges the purchasing clerks around Ahamansu and Papasi do not have funds to pay their parents for their toils on the farm.
I have visited over 10 cocoa purchasing clerks. None of them have been able to confirm to me that he has even 1,000 Ghana cedis in his account to purchase cocoa. Yes. Wow. So if our own parents wasted their effort, their meager resources, buy medicines with their farms, and then are able to make sure that they produce cocoa, and the government is not able to give them enough money so that they can buy the produce they produce. What exactly do you want them to do? We are in a festive season. How are our people, our Christian brothers and sisters going to celebrate the Christmas? This is a question our leaders should think about. How in the name of God will you say that you are buying cocoa without money?
The group, upon the plea from the police service, has left the residence. Peter Senu for Joy News.
Now, anyone who trespasses on our land for mining does so at his own risk. Those are the words of the Chedom Hene for Central Kofi traditional area, Nana Kofi Olato IV. He says his office remains resolute with the decision not to allow any mining activity in that area. Again, we go back to our correspondent, Peter Senu.
At least I did a little agric in school. If this dust is settling on our crops, all the crops, the photosynthesis that the crops are supposed to have a good yield and a healthy yield will be defeated. Therefore, even if our crops produce some food for us and we eat, the nutrition that we are supposed to get from them, we will not get it. So we are strongly against mining in these communities.
Earlier this year, June 2023, the residents of Central Kofi, Lobi, Akpafu and Bori formed an anti-iron ore mining committee to have a united front to kick against any mining activities in their area. 6 months on, the residents have gone beyond the formation of a committee to mount notices in the various communities to ward off any investor who wants to mine iron ore in the area. Nana Kofi Olato IV is the Chedom Hene for Central Kofi traditional area.
We are still warning the government never to come and tamper with our beautiful mountains for any mining activities. That is why we have mounted those signboards. And there are more also to be mounted, even beyond our area here. We are very prepared to mount one in Kokwe district, warning any intruder into the community. We are very, very wild. We are not joking with the mining activities that the government wants to take place here. So any prospect that wants to come, the person should stay away entirely.
He says anyone who flouts their orders does so at his own peril, not even the minister.
If they say that it's at your own risk, it's a very big warning. If you come here and you don't go back home, that is the risk that you are facing. Yes. Because we don't want these beautiful mountains to be destroyed. Our yes is yes, our no is no. We don't want any mining activities to take place here. Because at least we have heard the mining activities that are going on in other regions. The end result of it, they are not getting anything. They are only getting diseases, destruction, and their farmlands. So any prospect that comes here and that person doesn't go back home, the government has nothing to ask us. Even if the Minister of Natural Resources comes here and he doesn't go back to the State House, it is to his own risk.
Peter Senu for Joy News.
In our next story, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, has challenged the authenticity of recent results of the West Africa Senior School Certificate Examination. He says some invigilators relaxed on their jobs and teachers were found to have aided students in answering questions. His remarks come after Education Minister Dr. Yao Osei-Aduchum announced this year's results as being the best since 2015. Mr. Mahama, who is on the Building Ghana tour, believes it has dire consequences for the educational system in the future. Nana Ojima was at the town hall meeting in the Mfantsiman constituency and filed this report.
Professional and economic groupings continue to honor invitation of the NDC to aid the drawing of the party's manifesto by voicing challenges of their sectors. Throughout the 6 regions toured, teachers have featured prominently. At Mfantsiman constituency, the non-availability of textbooks after change of curriculum was a major worry.
My teachers in onye esua funara enti yan papa dem yesre da seba the textbooks in my umbra.
The teachers and students are suffering because of non-availability of textbooks. We plead that you help us when you come. Also, the free SHS has to be reviewed because the double track system is not allowing teachers to get some rest.
Because form 1 first track na second track leba inta wo teacher yi ikofia onyeye.
The former president shared in their worry.
We are worried about the lack of textbooks. My curriculum for textbooks in Niho. I wonder what kind of government this is. Our education system is in shambles.
Mr. Mahama further expressed his reservation over the recent results being released in the West Africa Senior School Certificate Examination. The 2023 results is the best since 2015. The Education Minister, Yao Osei Educhum, has already attributed the gains to the dedication of teachers. But Mr. Mahama has made different observation.
After 1 year exams are in many places, one checking Quadano, they let the children cheat freely. You go to places and the teachers are conniving with the children to cheat. The effect of this will be seen later. Because you certify these children, you say he's of this standard, either basic BECE or SSCE, and that child will use that certificate, go abroad to a school, and they'll find that in Ghana your qualification is not up to what you say it is. It is going to affect this nation. I think we're just doing it. Anytime the results come, you say, oh, the children have performed better than they ever performed before. You know, and we all know what is happening in the system. We will reorder things so that things are done properly.
Improving the education sector remains priority of the NDC. A government investment into housing scheme for teachers is among top policies to improve the sector. A promise of reviewing the free SHS policy in the first 100 days remains paramount. For Joy News, Nanaya Ochima reporting.
Now, the Garden City Special School in the Ashanti region is decrying the insufficient amount of feeding grants received by the school. Each student lives on 5 cedis and 50 pesos a day. Headmistress of the school, Dr. Rosalind Frimpoma Ejapon, says the situation has left the school indebted to food suppliers.
City Special School serves persons living with intellectual and developmental disabilities in the Ashanti region and parts of eastern and western regions. Despite the growing numbers of students, feeding challenges adversely affect the efficient running of the school. School authorities have to manage a feeding budget of less than 6 cedis for 3 meals daily for 192 students whose ages range from 7 to 31. Headmistress of the school, Dr. Rosalind Frimpoma Ejapon, is calling the Ghana Education Service to fulfill the promise of raising the grant amount. She also cited issues of overcrowding in several classrooms due to increasing number of admissions into the school and the school's limited facilities.
The feeding grants. You know, it's a government school, so monies are brought in by Ghana Education Service. They do well. But the amount we take now is not enough and it's not helping us. And we are praying, though we know they are working on it, but we pray that they work on it fast for us so that we can pay the bills that have been accumulated. We need to expand the school. There are more people coming in, but our classrooms, because they were built by a German volunteer with the idea of only 8 children in one classroom, the classrooms are small classrooms. We need to have more classrooms.
Despite the challenges, the school, supported by entities, strive to provide extensive services to improve the conditions for children with special needs. The Region Foundation and Help a Brook Foundation have collaborated to put smiles on the faces of the kids. The foundation donated assortable consumable items and classroom learning teaching materials, including packets of text and exercise books, pens and pencils. The group, led by Dylan Opoku, founder of Region Foundation, also took the children through creative skills to improve the creative skills efforts of the school. Co-founder of Region Foundation, Deborah Akushika Mensah, says the government's support is eminent to keep the school functioning effectively.
With what they have done so far that we've seen, we realize that the students are very talented, and if the government could support them more with their materials that they use to perform all of these magic, then it would help them. And then as well as letting them come out of the school to show the world what they can do, and then with sponsorship outside of the country as well, they can reach higher heights.
Help a Brook Foundation founder, Henry Akwesi Boatin, said the gesture was embarked on recognizing the positive roles the institution performs in caring for special needs children.
The intention is to put a smile on the worried face. So we chose this Garden City Special School, came to see the mistress and spoke with her. So we had a list of items they wanted, and we gathered the resources according to what they give to us. So we purchased exercise books, pens, pencils, and all stationaries that are needed in school. Though it's a special school, they also have some special items, specific special items they needed, abacus and so many things. But we were able to at least purchase a lot of items that was provided on the list.
Reporting for Joining is Clinton Yeboah.
Well, let's stay on education, as the Member of Parliament for Techiman South, Martin J. Mensah Kosa, has awarded the overall best teacher in the constituency with a brand new car. The initiative, which was instituted by the Member of Parliament in 2018, seeks to recognize and appreciate the outstanding contributions of teachers in the area. A total of 83 teachers were honored with gifts such as brand new motorbikes, tabletop fridges, fans, laptops, and more for their meritorious service to education within the Techiman municipality.
42-year-old Frimpong Emmanuel was adjudged the overall best teacher for the 2022 MyCamp Teachers Award, an award scheme organized by the Member of Parliament for Techiman South constituency. The legislator, who doubles as the Deputy Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, first introduced this award scheme in the year 2018 to, amongst other things, motivate teachers in the Techiman North and South constituencies to do more to help improve education across the area. Emmanuel, whose sacrificial exploits towards education earned him the recognition, was cheered and carried shoulder high after his name was mentioned as the winner of the brand new Maruti S Presos Saloon car. Emmanuel Frimpong, a teacher at the Tra MA Basic School, described the recognition as a motivation to do more.
As the Bible says, you give, if you give, it shall be given unto you. And it's serving as motivation because looking at the nature and the value of this award, I was not dreaming about it. And it will ginger me to be able to put up my best to help that needy child, and then an innocent child elsewhere who also become a teacher or a president or nurse in future, because I see this award as something valuable and that is going to add more value to my work.
But what informed the Member of Parliament's decision to single-handedly introduce the MyCamp Teachers Award? Martin J. Mensah Kosa says the move is basically to recognize as well as appreciate the efforts of teachers across the area.
It is the third in the series of those awards, and it's basically to motivate our teachers to give up their best, to excel at what they do, and to recognize and appreciate their efforts. That we like what they do, and we encourage them to do it better.
He further emphasized that his resolve to support education is to help build the human resource capacity of the municipality, which according to him is key to nation building.
It's because the essence of the human resource or quality human resource is critical for our nation building, and we cannot do otherwise. And so that for me informs the reason why there's a particular attention and priority in our approach to uplifting education.
Municipal Director of Education John Kojo Amisa was full of praise to the Member of Parliament for the move and charged teachers in the area to remain committed towards helping shape the future of the next generation.
Your commitment to education and efforts at shaping the future of our society is commendable. Let us celebrate this outstanding achievement of our exceptional teachers and reaffirm our commitment to providing quality education to every child to thrive in this complex, changing technological world.
Kentenhene and Dabenhene of the Techiman traditional area, Oheniba Osu and Chibusiaku, who was speaking on behalf of the Omahene of the Techiman Traditional Council, charged the people of the area to throw their support behind the legislator as he seeks for re-election next year.
Ladies and gentlemen, our MP over the period have been very committed in discharging his duty in terms of motivating teachers and other public workers as well. Although our system sometimes doesn't try to be fair to us, but looking at the magnitude of his support over the period, he should have been even contested as an MP in this constituency.
In all, a total of 83 teaching and non-teaching staff went home with certificates and various awards ranging from irons, standing fans, flat-screen television sets, motorbikes, and one brand new espresso salon car for the overall best teacher. And as Sabit, Joy News, teaching.
And that's our recap of the news. But stay with us. The news review is right up next. Welcome on the news review segment of the show. Time now for us to, well, share with you what the latest portals or the latest news is on the portals. We'll look at myjoyonline.com. We'll look at graphiconline.com, among others. But let me, before I introduce my guest, let you know there are a lot of people out there with so many issues. I was having a discussion yesterday. And do you know, are you aware that quite a chunk of women, at least over 50%, have some issues with fibroids? They may not develop to the point where you need an excision or surgery, but just like with eye issues, right? You see me using glasses. These are not for fancy reasons. These are because they have lenses in them. I've used this for a number of years. Practically everybody has some eye issues, but they may not develop to the point where you need glasses. It's same with fibroids. With the prostate, interestingly, and I also, per my research, women of African descent are more prone to some of these issues. It is same with prostate issues. Unfortunately, we of African extraction are more prone. There are other things that other people are more prone to, but it just goes to tell you that in terms of these areas, especially we have to be more cautious. And that's why I'm offering for you this morning Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, because in these two areas, they're offering you, if you're a man, prostate screening for free. If you're a woman, fertility screening for free. And that is why you ought to make your way to Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic at any of their branches. Here in Accra, at Spintex opposite the Shell signboard, there's Kumase Kronum Abwehia behind the Angel Educational Complex. There's Takrady Anaji Estate, there's Tema Community 22, there's Techiman Hansua, there's Isiama and Zema. So many branches dotted across the length and breadth of the country. If you'd like to reach them, these are the numbers you can reach them on. 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. But just the start of the news review. I am joined by the NPP's parliamentary candidate for Bole Bamboy, Raphael Kuma. Yesterday we had a conversation that we aired with the NDC's candidate, who actually is the member of parliament for that area. Today we host the NPP's candidate, Mr. Kuma. Mr. Kuma, a very good morning to you, sir. Can you hear me, Mr. Kuma?
Yes, Ben, I can hear you. Good morning to you and Joy's listeners and viewers as well.
Right.
It's been nice meeting you for today.
It's a pleasure hosting you for the first time. I've been looking forward to that opportunity. But tell me, even as we start, I always do this to members of parliament, but you're not a member of parliament yet, but I just want to find out. When you look at Bole Bamboy, it's quite an interesting constituency, and it's also one that is pretty known because the former president was MP there at a time, among others. But what do you see in Bole Bamboy currently, and what makes you want to become member of parliament for that area?
Thank you very much, Ben. Once again, I would like to say a very good morning to our cherished viewers and all those that are listening to you wherever they may be today.
Right.
And also for me to use the to thank the party people in Bole Bamboy for doing me the honors to represent them. And for me, I am of the view that honor is a matter of duty and then responsibility, of which my counterpart from the other side hasn't been able to live up to episode. So one of the reasons why I got massively voted for from the NPP side, which I'm very sure would translate to votes coming into 2024 December. First and foremost, I think that we have to ask ourselves, it's not about what the NPP has done, it's about what has the NDC government been able to do for its own people. When I say its own people, what I mean is that you and I are very much aware that our current former President John Dramani Mahama is from the place. He's been an MP for 3 good terms. He's been a vice president, and he's also become a president of Ghana. On all of these occasions, you've had him being the president or the vice president, and you equally have an NDC MP being the MP there. So what we have to ask ourselves is that for all of these number of years that they have been in the system, what have they been able to do for our good people?
Are you saying they've done nothing? Because I can point out projects to you.
You see, it will interest you to know very well that, you see, the area or the age of politics of sharing of maggi and then salt is over. And what I mean by this is the fact that
No, I asked you a simple question, Raphael. Are you saying they've done nothing? And if the answer is yes, then you can expand on it. If the answer is no, you can expatiate on it.
When somebody is asked to represent people, it comes with a huge tax and a huge duty. It's a call to serve. And as we speak now, Ben, if you would have time, take your camera and come to Bole Bamboy. Let me give you one clear example. As we speak, okay? As we speak, Bole, in the hometown of our former president, John Dramani Mahama, we don't have a befitting modern market. That's the first step. Number 2, when you pick the data for the census that was just done, Bole is one of the leading constituencies with high unemployment rates. So you ask yourself, so what have they been doing over the years? And I can tell you that any good thing that you find in Bole Bamboy was done by the NPP. For instance, when John Dramani Mahama was the MP and at the same time the communication and deputy minister, we could not even have access to TV signals in Bole. All that we were doing was getting them from Ivory Coast. Again, we had access to Tigo and MTN service somewhere late 2005 under the tenure of Dr. Achanso as the DCE. Meanwhile, our dear brother was the MP and then he was also the Minister for Communication. The Bole War Road, it was worked on under former President John Ajikum Kufuor. Under the same NPP government, you see where Bamboy is located. It's just after the black voter, so there's a break there. The then NDC told us that because of where we find ourselves, Bamboy can never get light. And fortunately for us, under the
wait, hold it. I have to season this. You're saying the former president said that where Bamboy is, you can never get light. Where did he say this? When did he say this?
This was said, in fact, I'm very happy that you asked me this question. You said it sounds very ridiculous. This was said at the Chief's Palace in Bamboy. These are things that you can verify.
Do you have records of it? Do you have official records of it? Was any story done on it? Do you have video, audio evidence?
I'll try and get that for you.
Okay, you go ahead.
Yes. So anything that you can see as a good thing in Bole Bamboy was done under the NPP.
Okay, so again, it goes back to my point. You've still not answered me. So in other words, you're saying everything that is good in Bole Bamboy has been done by the NPP. So in other words, and mind you, since 1992, the NPP has only held that constituency twice. Throughout, it's been the NDC. There have been different people who have held that slot. I don't know whether it's Cletus Avoca, who was there for a long time, and then the former president.
Ben, the Bole Bamboy seat has always been the NDC. We have never had an NPP. It used to be the late, I think, I don't remember the name. He left, and then the JM came. So after JM came, then we had Honorable Saka.
Okay, then I may be confusing it with another constituency. But the point to be made is, you're saying that throughout this period, I mean, that even enhances the point I want to make. You're trying to say that since, and let's focus on the Fourth Republican experiment, since 1992 till now, the NDC, within how many years? 31 years or 30 plus years, has done absolutely nothing in that constituency. The last time I hosted Yusuf Suleimana, the Member of Parliament, he told me about his plan to sink boreholes, for example, some of which he had not been able to sink, but he was projecting 17. He had been able to sink, and interestingly, he was able to sink 12 of them. He sunk 7. He's going to sink another 5. He has this hospital in the area which lacked an incubator. They communicated to him, he communicated to the former president, John Dramani Mahama. They pooled resources and came through with an incubator. These, at least, are a few things I remember. I actually just saw him trying to reach out to me, and we'll see whether we can, I don't know whether it's an apt time to connect him, Yusuf Suleimana, but even with these, at least, and I'm not trying to, at least something has been done. So the claim you make that anything that is of any good in the constituency was done by the NPP, it smacks a bit of, I can't even understand what you're saying.
Ben, you see, yesterday I followed him keenly throughout the entire program. You see, our MP is very good at saying that I've done some of this and some of that. Okay. I was hoping you were going to ask him to indicate exactly where he has drilled those boreholes. And I bet you he wouldn't be able to provide you with any answers. I know him very well.
Oh, I see.
I mean, I know him very well. He should be able to give us the places. And you see, this issue of the Bole Hospital being, the park extension done by the former president and his wife, Ben, all of us are from Bole Bamboy. Let us be very careful with some of the things that we say. The truth of the matter is that the former First Lady felt that Bole has been supportive, Bole has blessed the husband. So therefore, it's about time she gave back to us as a mother. And if you would recall, one of the reasons why we have a lot of NTCs in the Brown Apple.
Hello? Okay, I think we've lost Raphael. Raphael, please try to reconnect. We want to have you back. And we'll see. I will seek permission from my producer, find out whether it's possible to let Yusuf Suleimana, who's Member of Parliament for that area, join the conversation as well, because it appears he has some feedback he wants to give. I don't want it to turn into a fierce banter, though. It's the news we are reviewing, but we'll see how that goes. I was just engaging the NPP's parliamentary candidate for Bole Bamboy, Raphael Kuma. He is my guest this morning, and he is joining the conversation. So we'll try to see if we can get Yusuf Suleimana as well on board, if we can call him on board or get him on Zoom. We shall see about that and take it from there. I see a lot of you watching. I'd like you to share your thoughts on the discussion so far. But in the interim, before we get there, let me get on board. Something I was going to run by Raphael Kuma. If you look at the tail of the tape, and I wanted to run this by him, of course, the Bole Bamboy MP on the NDC side literally said yesterday that he could go to sleep, literally go to sleep and support his colleague MPs on the NDC side, and that he would give Raphael Kuma a nice haircut. And I asked him, what kind of haircut? And he said, Sakura. In other words, he would do him pasa, that's using our local parlance, in that constituency's elections in 2024. But I told him to beware so that he doesn't get the haircut instead. But if you look at the voting pattern in that region, Yusuf Suleimana says he's targeting nothing less than 70%. In the last election, in 2020, He polled 67.68% of the votes. That's some 26,350 votes. David Sedema, who is who was the NPP's candidate then, polled 12,585 votes, accounting for 32.32%. And of course, the rest of the votes went elsewhere, either into lost ballots or otherwise. So the tale of the tape shows that it is a strong NDC constituency, but only time will tell whether Raphael Kuma can wrest it from the grips of the NDC. Raphael, are you back? Can you hear me? All right, so let's go online as we wait for Raphael Kuma to reconnect. And it says the National Security Ministry refutes claims its operatives deliberately killed 2 youth in Akan constituency. That story there. And there's also let's scroll. National Security trying to cover up death of 2 youth. We brought you that story. He's the member of parliament in that area. I'll bring you that. Sing-a-thon. Alan Tremanting storms Akwaba village to support Asantewa. Quite a number of the politicians are going there for whatever reason. Yes, let's support, but sometimes it's just to score political points. I'm not referring to Alan Tremanting specifically. I mean, we've had the vice president go there with Samia Wuku. We've had the chief of staff go there. We have Alan Tremanting go there. I'm always wary of these politicians. Let me just leave it at that. NDC mourns Apostle in Tumi. Accra's drainage traps, urban roads wages war on metal grades, thieves. And then Trump election, Michigan Supreme Court rejects ballot disqualification bid. Then Judicial Service, OSP unite to combat corruption. There are other stories there. But let's look at the national security refuting claims that its operatives deliberately killed 2 youth in the Akan constituency. Now, the National Security Ministry has dismissed claims of deliberately targeting and killing 2 persons in the Akan constituency in the Oti region. This follows the death of 2 footballers in the Yazo community in the Oti region on Monday as they were allegedly being pursued by national security operatives while attempting to transport cocoa beans to Togo. Now, in a statement issued on December 27, the National Security Ministry explained that, quote, the incident leading to the death of the 2 persons was purely accidental and not born out of a targeted operation, as accounted by the MP for the area. Now, while expressing their condolences to the bereaved families, they also urged the police to disregard the factual inaccuracies aimed at courting disaffection for the anti-cocoa smuggling operation in the constituency. However, setting the record straight, the ministry explained that the facts of the matter were as follows. 1, in October 2023, the Ministry of National Security, in collaboration with Cocoa Board, launched an intelligence-led operation along the Eastern Corridor, which includes the Akan constituency, to prevent cocoa smuggling to neighboring countries. It goes on and on. But 2, the anti-cocoa smuggling operations have so far been successful, with several persons involved in the smuggling activities arrested. 3, regrettably, on December 25, 2023, one of the vehicles of the anti-cocoa smuggling operations team was involved in an accident when it collided head-on with a motorcycle carrying 2 persons, a development that claimed the lives of the 2 persons aboard the vehicle or the motorcycle. In the immediate aftermath of the accident, personnel of the Ghana Police Service arrived at the scene to commence full-scale investigations. However, some aggrieved persons in the Akan constituency, guided by a misconception that the 2 deceased persons were deliberately targeted, vandalized the vehicle and set it ablaze. Okay, all right. So that is the story. I don't know whether we have Raphael Kuma back, but for those of you watching, I want to find out from you. What do you make of this? Every day, every now and then, the police has got involved in this situation. People have died. We had all of these situations from Ijura to other places. Almost every now and then, I can count, almost every 3-4 months, every quarter, every 6 months, there's an incident somewhere. And there's always justification for it. How can you justify the loss of human life? The anti-smuggling situation, all fair and square. Good. in our national interest. We may not be doing the best when it comes to cocoa, what we're doing for our cocoa farmers. I remember the president a few months ago, and it's the highest ever, and this and that. Why are they smuggling? That's the question we should be asking ourselves. But that's not to justify that. In our national interest, we must maintain the situation. We must ensure that our cocoa production does not actually that is fine. We are not going to actually have all of this tussle, in respect of this. We must protect our national interest. Recently, we've been told about, and I mentioned this in some of my blunt thoughts, about Ecuador and the rest, Some of these countries are really coming up, again, ramping up cocoa production. But in trying to defend our national interest, if people keep getting killed at some point, then what are we trying to do? That's my question. Anyway, I get so saddened and angry when such things happen, and then we have the justifications. It wasn't intentional. It doesn't take away from the fact that these people are dead, does it? It doesn't. It doesn't. And it could be your brother, it could be my brother. That's the situation. So how are we going to account for these people? What do we do? In the grips of COVID, the president himself said, we know how to bring the economy back. Even that, we do not know whether that has happened. But what we do not know how to do is to bring life back. What do we do for these two who are gone? Budding footballers. What do we do? Mr. National Security Minister, do you have the power to bring them back to life? I want your quick thoughts on that. And interestingly, like I mentioned, Yusuf Suleimana, who is Member of Parliament for Bole Bamboy, has joined the conversation. I did mention he was getting interactive earlier. Raphael Kuma has also is also with us, but I hear the feed. He's lost out again. Please, Raphael, please, I want you back on the conversation. Please join the Zoom connection. Let's have this conversation. To you, Yusuf Suleimana, you reached out. What is it that you want to say? Is it because Raphael Kuma is throwing jabs at you this morning? What do you have to say based on what he said? Hello, Mr. Suleimana, you have to unmute before you speak, please. Please unmute before you speak.
Good morning.
Good morning, Yusuf. Please go ahead.
Good. Let me first of all say good morning to our cherished viewers, and also say good morning to my younger brother, Raphael. I listened to Raphael and it's so laughable. The first question I want to ask Raphael is whether or not he knows the constituency very well.
Right, I get your point. I just want to throw this back to you as well, because he says, you're asking whether he knows the constituency. Raphael says, you say you are sinking boreholes, you are doing this project, that project. Where are you embarking on these projects? He posed that question. He's not here. I'm posing that question to you. Where are these projects?
So let me start. Raphael should go to a place called Sonyo.
Right.
Raphael should go to Kiape. Raphael should go to Mandare. Raphael should go to Bale. Raphael should go to Timburi. Raphael should go to Chache. Raphael should go to Mankuma. Raphael should go to Kakiase. Raphael should go to Bodi. Raphael shouldn't go far. Joboy is just close to Bamboy. He should go there. Have a borehole there. Raphael should go to a community just after Joboy, which is not far from Bole, called Carpenter. I have drilled 2 boreholes there. Raphael should go to Tesilima. There's a borehole there. Raphael should go to Banankonta. I have drilled a borehole there. Raphael should go to Noyi. There's a borehole there.
All right, Mr. Suleimana, just a quick one. Beyond the boreholes, you told me about the incubator. I think Raphael was making a point about that. That is the former First Lady, Lordina Mahama, I think. I think that's whom he was referring to, who said that, or who suggested that that constituency had given so much to her husband, the former president, who was formerly Member of Parliament there, and that is why they embarked on that project. And you're tying it to yourself as well, that, yes, you mentioned the former president, but what explanation can you give on that?
So, Ben, I think that if you listen to my interview very well, I said to you that the Director of Health Service then approached me and spoke about the lack of an incubator, which I provided. I provided it. And the second phase was that I visited the hospital and realized 2 children were in one incubator. It was then that I complained to the former president and the wife, who then came in to build a modern maternity ward as well as children ward, and then equipped it with many, many more incubators.
All right,
so these are 2 separate stories.
Right, thank you for that clarity. So the first one, hold for me. The first one you got yourself. The other ones, together with the facility, were funded or facilitated by the former president. I just want a quick one, because Raphael will have a lot of questions. I just want to clarify this before I go to him. So beyond the boreholes, what else have you done in these areas? The Sonyo, the Kiape, the Mandare, the Bale, the Timburi, the Twase, and others. What else have you done in that constituency, Bole Bamboy?
So ask Raphael. The NDC started a polyclinic in Bamboy. Now, when it got completed, they could not operationalize it. I don't want to go to the far places. I want to come closer to where he lives. They couldn't operationalize it. He should go to the health center and find out who facilitated its operations. I had to ensure that they were giving motorbike. I had to ensure that they were giving seed money. I had to ensure that they were linked up to national health insurance. I had to ensure that the whole area was lightened by providing street lights and what have you.
Thank you. Just hold for me, Mr. Suleimana. Hold for me. I want this to be, between the two of you. So now I'm going to Raphael Kuma. Raphael, you've heard what Suleimana has said. He's member of parliament for the area. What are your responses? Hello, Mr. Kuma.
Ben, I think I lost you a bit, so I'm back again.
Did you hear what Yusuf Suleimana was saying?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What are your responses?
I would like to greet my elder brother. Yes, so I'll just go to that. I think just on the sidelines, yesterday he said he was going to give me a Sakura haircut.
I was about to get to that, but since you started, go ahead.
And you know already he has Sakura already. So I'm going to give him a baptism of fire come 2024. So I want him to get set for it. Yeah, so, and Ben, you see, like I was saying, for me, I am into this business of politics because I want to leave a legacy. And I want us to move away from the normal propaganda of politics and party communication. Famous, he gave a litany of names of community where he has drilled boreholes for. Ben, you see, my brother is trying to claim credit for what he has not done. Most of the things he has done was done under the NPP by Dr. Achang. In fact, let me just give him just those that he mentioned behind my backyard in Bambol. There's a place called Carpenter. He mentioned it as part of his achievement. It wasn't done by him. As long as I was even in a primary school in Carpenter, I schooled them before. Primary 1 to primary 6, I was in that village. Those boreholes were done by the Catholic Church back then. It wasn't done by him.
Go ahead. I want you to expand on all what he said before I go back to him.
Ben.
Hello, Raphael. Ben. Raphael Kuma. Hello, Ralph. This is not helping matters any because I really want the NPP guy to also make his point on all what Mr. Suleimana has said, but it's not coming through. Mr. Suleimana, I'll come to you. I just want to be fair in apportioning the time. But in the meantime, I'm seeing messages coming through. Ibrahim Zina Suleimana says, Raphael Kuma, the people's choice, inshallah, Bole Bamboy constituency is already in your hands. And interestingly, this person is a Suleimana. Nango Michael says, tell Yusuf Suleimana that we are all from the district and he shouldn't think that the seat is for the NDC, so we can't vote him out. We're surely going to get him out this time around. If it will cost some of us to fly back to Ghana to vote him out, we would do so. Ben, ask Yusuf to pinpoint the exact works he has done in the district so that we can stop voting for Raphael and vote for. Okay, but he just mentioned those if you were listening. Then Nango Michael says, Yusuf is not being honest. He also says it is not true. Ibrahim Mwamba says, okay, so that's not. And then there is also Sarakbo Gabriel, who says Raphael is the new dawn. I don't want to repeat because some of you are just sending repeat messages, but I already know what you are thinking, so I don't need to go back to that. Nango Michael says the borehole in Jogboy was done by Alhaj Salia and one other by some Galamsey company. This one says, Adams Al-Hassan says, please, Mr. Host, Mr. Kuma is misrepresenting the facts. The records are crystal clear. JDM brought massive development to the area. Bamboy Road was started by Rawlings and completed by Kufuor. Bamboy transmission lines were done by NDC. That made it possible for Otiko Afisa Jaba to commission electric or light in the 2008 when she was with the NPP. In summary, NPP has done absolutely nothing in the development across, but that is where I also have a problem. You can't say that a party has done absolutely nothing in an area. This one says, okay, so you are referring to the national security issue, and okay, so there's maybe I'll just do this final one. Daniel Ametuku says, I'm watching you live. Your questions to the politicians are super. God richly bless you. Well, thank you. And you say voice for the voiceless. Do we have Raphael back? Okay, Raphael, I'll go back to Suleimana, but I want to hear from you on the other points quickly before I go there.
Yes, Ben, I want to also say something just briefly. With the greatest of respect, yesterday you gave me a whole period for him to talk.
No, this is the news review. We don't have that time here. I'm coordinating here. This is the news review. It's not an interview, please. Please understand. Hello?
Of the roads that he mentioned yesterday. Hello, Ben.
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Hello, Ben. Yeah, so on the issues of the roads that he raised yesterday, I mean, almost all of them were false. For instance, he said all the roads that they left during their tenure was not done, was abandoned by the NPP. Let me give you one clear example. During the former President Kufuor's time, the road from
Raphael, your connection is terrible. This is what I'm going to suggest. We'll try to reach you on phone, okay? With a few minutes we have left, God willing, so that you can make your point, because unfortunately technology is not helping you make the point. I've been trying to get you to make your full point, exhaust what you have to say. It's not helping. So please, we'll try to get you on phone and then you summarize your thoughts. Yusuf Suleimana, this is the last bit I'll come to you on. Raphael, some members of your constituency are saying you are not being factual. Nango Michael says, point of correction, Raphael Yusuf did dig one borehole in Carpenter, not two. But these are the very people who are going to be voting for you. I don't know whether they are NDC or NPP, but these are the people who are going to be voting for you or against you in that election. Are you still going to give the haircut you promised, the Sakura haircut, to Mr. Kuma? And what more are you going to be doing in 2024? If you have any reactions, this is the time.
Younger brother, if not, the Sakura would have been one with bleeding. But because it's my younger brother, I won't let any cuts appear on the head. He said, I've done nothing. I've mentioned quite a number of places where I've drilled boreholes, just boreholes. And now he's running away from that. Now, the problem with my younger brother is that he doesn't know the consistency. Ben, I just want you to ask him that where is Chenchere located in the Bole Bamboy constituency? He should tell me. So these are the problems. So he doesn't know the consistency, and whatever that goes on there, he's not aware, and that is why he can come out and challenge some of these factuals. In any case, the journey is there. I wish that one day you get the two of us in your studio so that we can be factual, we can bring evidence. Then we'll settle this issue. What I want him to know is that the constituency is secured for the NDC, and that we have done so much. He's talking about electricity in Bamboy. I'm happy somebody has just said it. Every community in Bole was connected by the NDC. Just a few that were connected just last 2 years were about 2. And even those ones, we had started them. There are quite a number of communities that we started in 2015, 2016. When they came, they abandoned them. Bogda is one of them. Okay, his own territory around Babato, Chebrinwa, Dogoli areas has been abandoned, even though we had connected the wires to that area. He should tell me, as a candidate, what has he done to ensure that at least, even before he became a candidate, he's been around that area. What has he done with his government to ensure that places like Dogoli, Chebrinwa, Babato are connected?
Okay, we have Raphael Kuma back. He's on phone now. You were saying I should ask him whether he knows which area. There was an area you mentioned.
Now you tell me where Chebrinwa is located.
Where?
Chebrinwa. No, sorry.
Okay.
You tell me Chenchere.
Okay. All right. Raphael Kuma, do you know where Chenchere is located in your constituency? And he's saying that there are a lot of things he has done that you do not have a certain knowledge of the area. What's your reaction to that, Mr. Kuma? Hello, Mr. Kuma, can you hear me?
Hear me?
Mr. Kuma, can you hear me, please? If you can, please go ahead.
I can hear you.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, Ben, I believe that there are a lot of important things for us to discuss other than identifying the locations of places. What I would say is this. The Chache border road was awarded by Smart President before in 2007. His government came and then they abrogated that contract. He mentioned Bambwe Polyclinic. The project was promised under the NPP, yet the seed money was never delivered. It was President Nana Addo, the Okafoli president, who gave us Savannah region, a region which our own brother Jomama could not deliver to us so many years that he has been with us. When he mentioned Chibrinwa Road, the last time the issue of Chibrinwa electricity was mentioned, in fact, it took the intervention of my former dean, Dr. Robert Sugana Flem of UDS to make that statement for that area on the floor of Parliament. Where was he in Parliament? Parliament is a serious business, and people who are focused are supposed to be in Parliament and represent their people. So if he could not defend or make cases for those people in Parliament, he has to take the effort of his colleague MP for Pinduri, he's a former MP for Pinduri, to make a case that Chibrinwa Bamtua Babato needs electricity. Then it's quite unfortunate. We need more serious people to be in Parliament to advocate and advance the cause of the people of Bole Bamboy. But as years NPP has been in power, you come and that's what he was saying. I'm sure you heard people come out to repeat what he said. There are philanthropists in
some have also confirmed what he's saying.
For instance, it wasn't him that gave us electricity. It wasn't him that gave us resources to work at the place. There is an NGO being headed by one man, somebody from Manoche. His name is Alaji Dr. Talia. He is the brain behind the pressurization of Bambwe Polyclinic, and not him. Even with that, he claimed they did it. It wasn't done by them. They promised.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. You're saying, you keep reiterating that it's only the NPP that has done anything in Bole Bamboy. The NDC side also says, they have been in power throughout. I'd like to find out from you, should you become member of parliament? Should you become member of parliament? And the hurdle is pretty huge, what you have to climb, what you have to surmount. Going back to the figures, you would notice that the last time, in the last election, Yusuf Suleimana scored about 67+%. Almost, he says now he's targeting at least 70%. The NPP person secured about 32.32% of the votes. It's about half of what Yusuf Suleimana had. And he said in that interview that even that person could have done better than you. So 2 questions. Do you think you can surmount that hurdle? 1. And 2, what will you do differently? Should you get the nod in that constituency? What will you do differently? To cap it off, before I cap off with Suleimana.
Yeah, Ben, it will interest you to note one thing. Whenever there's an internal contest in your opponent's party, and you realize your opponent is supporting one side of the divide, it will tell you where his fears are. So, I'm not surprised by the comments he made. It's only been psychological about the comments. We are very much aware of his attempted interference in our internal elections, where the other side wanted to support. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. So for me, I am inspired by the fact that he wants to give me a Sakura haircut. That is even inspiring me to work more and more and more. But if I were him, I'll go and breach I'll go and breach the bridges he has created in his party in Bole Bamboy. He has to be his warrior, not my victory. As for 2024 is coming. You see, it's a new dawn, it's a new era. The people have lived under darkness for so long a time. We are here to redeem our people. And the people believe in us. You see, maybe I didn't know the statistics of the voter population in Bole Bamboy. If you took that data, you will realize that 74.48% of those on the register are women. These are the people who are disappointed most in the life of our constituency. If you pick the 2020, if you pick the previous census data, you realize that Bole is one of the most even constituencies with high unemployment rate. You tell us how many people here talk to your job.
That reminds me of something. Now that you mentioned jobs, you said that you would create jobs, right? Did you say that if you become MP?
We will advocate for more jobs.
You would advocate for more jobs, because I was going to run it by you that creating jobs actually is not part of an MP's mandate.
That was why I said advocate. I didn't say I was to create
I remember you said that you would, but anyway, we can let that slide. Final words?
My final words to the people of Bole Bamboy is that I want to once again thank them for the opportunity they have given me. And I've always said and maintained that the honor done me is a matter of duty and responsibility. The trust put in me, I'm going to ensure that their trust doesn't go in the vain. Bole Bamboy is faced by a myriad of challenges. For instance, the whole country is 38.04% of the population are agricultural people. We need to improve upon the agricultural services in our area. We need good roads in our area.
Okay.
We need hospital facilities. In fact, we need to address the maintenance of Galaspe in Bole Bamboy. It's the only major mining hub in Savannah region. And thanks to the president of Nana Akufo-Addo.
We have to go, Raphael. Final words.
Mineral Commission office being established in Bole. We have the precious mineral marketing office established in Bole. All of this is been done on the home.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you, Raphael Kuma. Let's hear from Yusuf Suleimana. Final words.
Man, let me thank you for giving me this opportunity and just say that Raphael is my younger brother. We'll have it cool with him. Want to motivate him, want to encourage him to continue with his political ambition. He should be honest, and he should try as much as possible not to copy those who they've always seen John Mahama as a target to insult and to denigrate in order to be appointed or to be given some recognition in their party. Those who have tried it have really failed. And a clear example is our own sister, Otiko Afisa Jaba. I mean, she decided to go after His Excellency, the former president, and to do all sorts of things with him. Today, as I speak, if you asked her, she'll tell you that she regretted doing it. And so he should stick to issues, and he should stop trying to denigrate or insult the former president. I can assure him that we're not going to insult anybody. We are going to concern ourselves with the needs of the people.
Right.
And so he will go through the constituency and do a data collection of the projects that I have done before he comes to deny them and try to be dishonest.
Okay. So Suleimana, I'm sure we can make time at some point, whether in the course of this year, the year has practically ended, maybe next year, and put the two of you together on the show, and then you can come and show your track record, and he can also come and dispute, and we can have a conversation. Yusuf Suleimana, I'm grateful for your time. Yusuf Suleimana is Member of Parliament for Bole Bamboy. We were also joined by the NPP's parliamentary candidate for Bole Bamboy, Raphael Kuma. I just want this to be our national reflection as well. The National Security Ministry refuting claims that its operatives deliberately killed 2 youth in the Akan constituency. Too many of our young people are dying. I remember that issue in the Ashanti region where 7 youth died. That issue. Later there was some compensation on that. Those who were even interdicted, what happened to them? We can't keep losing people like this. The excessive zeal. These lives have been lost. Footballers, who knows? Who knows whether these could have been the people who could have done something for our football, whether the local league or international league. You can never tell. Who knows what the future of these 2 young men would have been? So They were engaged in smuggling, so to speak. Even that, I don't know whether we can confirm. But if that were the issue, arrest them. Now they are dead. And if it were to happen to me or to anybody in my family, I would be aghast. Which is why if it happens to someone else, I also feel it. And all these responses coming through, well, this is Ghana. I hope in the end there will be some sane reactions to these matters. But thank you very much for watching the conversation, for actually staying with us for the news review. We're getting into sports up next. This segment always brought to you by Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. They are offering free prostate screening if you're a man, free fertility screening if you're a woman. Where you can find them, here in Accra at Spintex opposite the Shell signboard, Kumasi Kronom Abwe here behind the Angel Educational Complex, the Stakradi Anaji State Tema Community 22, Techiman Hansway and Siamanzima. Their call lines 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. Sports up next.
Good morning. Let's do sports now on the AM show with me, Haruna Mubarak. We start with the Black Stars, where there's been heavy criticism on the team and the Ghana Football Association for choosing to camp their squad in South Africa ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast. The players and technical team will be in Johannesburg on December 31 for 10 days to ramp up preparations for next month's tournament. Our communications director of the FA, Henry Asante Chum, explains the rationale behind the decision.
There were four key things that the coaches decided or used in taking their decision. One, privacy. Okay. As soon as we talk about privacy, Ghana doesn't come in at all. Ghana. There is nowhere in Ghana that you can camp the Black Stars for 10 days and have privacy.
Privacy coaches in the
Of course. Of course. The first thing they considered was privacy. Maybe okay. First, team focus, zero intrusion, no invasion, ability to play at least one game before the tournament.
But when you're a apart from South Africa,
one. The other day when I came here, I told you there are two countries that are being considered.
Yeah.
At that time, we were looking at Cameroon and South Africa. Those were the two last options. After Ghana out, Togo out, it was left to Cameroon and South Africa. Cameroon, feedback there are things I can't share on radio.
Okay.
In that vein, the coach said, it is only South Africa that can give me all the 4 points that I want to have.
Now, former Ghana international Ni Odati Lamte expressed concerns at the late start of camping, but confident that Ghana can pull a surprise at the AFCON.
I've said I followed the team quite a bit. I mean, during their qualifiers and even the World Cup qualifiers. I think the coach have some good young materials with a couple of experience that I think, yes, if you're able to go to camp early, you don't win first, second, and third, while they are getting to know each other, then it's late. But I think, for what I've seen so far, we have a very good team with experienced coach. The coach, he knows the team. I mean, he's part of the team that went to the World Cup with the team, so he knows the team very well. So I'm sure with the support of the FA and all Ghanaians, I'm sure, yes, people are doubting, but I think I strongly believe that will cause surprises in Cameroon.
Now, Ghana Premier League champions Medeama have confirmed the appointment of Nebojsa Kapor as their new head coach. The Bosnian, who previously handled Bechem United, signed a one-year deal which is subject to renewal. Meanwhile, Evans Adote has been given the technical director role. Now, Kapor will be in the dugout for the game against Kerala United this coming Saturday. We end the sports on the AM show. My name is Haruna Mubarak. The show continues right after this.
Yes. Welcome back on the AM show. We hit our big stories. Now we're looking at the year in retrospect. Everything that has happened in the course of this year. Of course, we're not going to be able to dilate on everything, but most of the topical major issues that have taken place in the course of this year, political and otherwise. Look, I even want us to talk about our sporting fortunes as a country and the different things that have happened. Well, joining us in the studio for a conversation, he's the Member of Parliament for Anya Soutuom. He's in the person of Dr. Dickson Adumaku Kisi. Also joining the conversation via Zoom, we have the NDC's parliamentary candidate for South Tone in the person of Maxwell Lukutor. Both of them join us. Let me start from Zoom. Maxwell, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
I am very well. It's good to have you join the conversation this morning.
Merry Christmas to you and to all listeners and viewers.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year in advance. Let me also come into the studio. Dr. Dickson Adumaku Kisi is here. So, Maxwell, I'm shaking your hand virtually. Good to have you. And in the studio, Dr. Well, I ideally said Dr. Anya Soutuom. Dr. Adumaku Kisi joining the conversation. So let's start off from here. I'll start with you because at least you have had the benefit of being a member of parliament. Maxwell Lukutor, it's almost safe to say he's going to be a member of parliament in the 9th parliament. Because if you look at South Tongu and the voting pattern, I home him for the NPP. It's like Bantama or some other areas for the NDC. But let me start with you, since you've been in Parliament. What would be your most topical issues that, I mean, off the top of your head, come to mind in especially this 8th Parliament and especially within the year 2023? We've had the budget statements, we've had the media, the budget reviews, we've had the import bill, we've had the anti-gay bill, as we call it, because it's quite a mouthful in Parliament. Outside of Parliament, we can also talk about this latest issue of national security operatives and those 2 dead in Yazo, somewhere in the Oti region, among others. So many issues. But where, if I asked you first, before we get into those issues, for your candid reflection on Ghana in 2023, what would it be?
The biggest thing that comes to mind for me is the IMF.
Okay.
And the fact that we were supported with 1 tranche from the IMF, and the fact that the narrative about Ghana's economic position, was brought to Ghanaians, and to make Ghanaians know that truly and clearly we were not in normal times. And I really think that it has been a bold president who has shepherded us in these times of tough economic downturn. And the other key thing, let me just stretch out there, what worries my heart is this Hamas-Israel fight. I mean, Russia, Ukraine came on board, but I think the death toll in Israel with Hamas, in terms of Gaza, is quite...
I think the last I checked, the claims by Hamas were that it was north of 20,000.
Which is...
On the Israeli end, we do know that from the start, I don't know what the figures have risen to, because there have been subsequent attacks by Hamas and even Hezbollah, I think, in Lebanon, and then the Houthi rebels have also, they've also been attacking ships that are even coming through, bringing supplies to yesterday, I was just reading about India sending some of these fleet into the area to stop any pirates or anybody trying to attack.
So these are
the death toll there too has been, at least from the start, it was over 1,200, and then over 250 people kidnapped and all of that. And it on both sides, it's just been terrible.
And the sad thing is that there are people who are innocent. Sometimes in times of war, you have military action.
Yeah.
Which that one, but when there are civilians involved, that's where it becomes sickening for me. And I've said on many accounts that I stand with the World Health Organization in terms of the damage to health, in terms of the psychological impact for decades beyond now. And we used to read about battles in the Bible and the fact that 10,000 people died and all of that. But to have it still play out now, when we think that we've seen all the ravages of war and we're hoping to stay away from that, I'm troubled by that. But be it as it may, we are here and we should be thankful to the Almighty. 2023 is almost drawing close to an end. Tomorrow is the 29th, and pretty soon by next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll be in a whole new year. And let me say a big happy New Year to my constituents in Anya Sotum. And I also told your folks that today, once I'm here, I have to at least show some few things about my constituency so that people may come to know that through the past 4 years, or let me say 3 years during my tenure, there's been some activities in the constituency in case they haven't seen or heard. So as you can see, we have one Agenda 111 in my constituency. This was taken about a few months ago. Fantastic project, and I believe that this project will be employing quite a number of people in my constituency, and I'm excited that it will be the #1 employer in the constituency when it is completed. In terms of nursing staff, doctors, we also have some bridges being built within the constituency, race course, Agape, and these are government projects that are going to help us in terms of amenities and some of the roads, fantastic roads that we never dreamt of having tarred, have been also tarred. If you look at the Puma Junction, Sotum, Edujemfi area, these are all very fantastic, additions to the infrastructural development of Anya Sotum, and I'm deeply grateful also to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for this classroom block that we are also putting up within Odogono Senior High School. So I'm very happy to at least tell my constituents that in as much as we're fighting hard to bring resources and help to Anya Sotum, some glimmer of hope is there, and government is paying attention to us, regardless of what maybe people might think. And I think that this is the Anya Zonal Council Road, and this is just amazing to drive or walk on it. And
how long has it been like?
This was just quoted about 3 weeks ago, and it's a huge upgrade to the development of the Anya East area. And
so what exactly has been done on this stretch?
Well, this was not butcherable. It had a lot of shops and little things on this road because it was a bad place to drive, and we were able to clear all of that. And in fact, there was one controversial house which was right in the middle of this road, and I think
in the middle of this road.
In the middle of this road, and our able MC did a Rambo style thing and cleared that house, and it is one of the powerful things that I'm very happy about in terms of what my MC has been able to do in support of our development. It's always difficult to break a house, when especially it's the middle of the road. You know how the community responds to some of these things. In one breath, we want development. In another breath, we still don't want things that are built in the roadways or in the waterways removed. This project is being done at Agape, so they are also seeing something. And Agape is going to see Kota soon.
How about Antieku?
Antieku, that zonal road comes to Antieku. Yeah, so it comes all the way through the municipal down to Dela Junction. And as we sit now, drains are being done further up, where you're talking about. And once these drains are done, the Anteku Junction will also be sorted out. So
it's not been sorted out yet, but
the drains are being done as we speak. And that is the key thing. If we don't do those drains, any asphalt we put on there will be washed away. So these are images from Anyaso Tom, and now we can even welcome people to come and see some of our developments. And I'm grateful to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for the additions. And this is the Pentecost University Road, which is also under construction, close to Maranatha. And the school is a huge deal for us. When you have any university or tertiary level, it adds in to your wellness as a constituency.
It boosts the economy of the area.
Absolutely.
A lot of people will come in there. They will buy things. Yes. They'll be exchanged.
So this is Anyaso Tom, day and night. A lot of improvement. There are some naysayers, but that is politics for you. I think that any small improvement should be celebrated. And Ghanaians as we are, sometimes we fail to celebrate some of the achievements that go on within our local area. So these are women holding some of the placards, and they live in Awoshi. Very excited for what has happened within our area. So I'm happy to.
Interesting developments in Anyaso Wutom. Dr. Adumaku Kisi is the Member of Parliament. Now let's head to Maxwell Lukutor. Maxwell, are you in South Tone currently, or are you elsewhere?
Yeah, I'm in South Tone currently. I'm in the constituency.
Okay, so you are not MP yet. Just hold for me. You are not MP yet, but just walk us through what your constituency is like, the pros, the cons, the pluses and minuses, what you are hoping to do. Then we can also just get your quick, I don't know whether you gave a general reflection of 2023, because I don't think you've given me that yet. You focused on your constituency. So you also talk about your constituency, what you are hoping to bring to bear, what the ailments are in the constituency. Then we can start off the conversation about Ghana in retrospect 2023. Over to you, Maxwell.
Yeah, so once again, good morning to my senior right there with you, and then to my constituents, Southtown, the opinion leaders, the chiefs, the DC, the MP, all my constituency executives and the branch executives. Good morning to all of you. I am happy to hear from my senior enumerating a lot of roles within his constituency that has been done. So I was shuddering to ask whether it is family and friends business as usual with the NPP government, where they have only extended some of these goodies to members of parliament from their side, because Southtown in particular over the 3 years he's talking about, or for the whole year that we're talking about, we have had a good share of our barrels for times immemorial. We only see them coming to reshape some of them. We have the Koji to the Agbeve-Chachikope road, which has been in that state for a very long time. Yes, of course, some few months ago, some breeder came to the road to reshape. And after the reshaping was done, there was a heavy rainfall and people couldn't ply the road for some few days. That road has been outstanding. There was some construction that was going on before the 2016 elections. And after the NDC has lost, the contractor has packed out and nothing has since happened on that road. We also have the Gonu from Beko to Soklaji Road, which has been in a bad state for as much as over 20 years. And covers has been made on that road. It's only left with gravels to fill the road and make it very motorable for my people. It has never seen the light of day. The Nutekpo Road has been done, courtesy the location of the naval base, which is at Nutekpo. But the other angle from Lolito to Habwi Adidoko has also been left unattended for all this while. Once a while, you see some of us, especially during the parliamentary primaries, most of the candidates had to become contractors by force, where we had to buy laterite and fill portions of the bad roads from time to time. By any time it rains, it washes away most of the gravels that we used to fill the road again. I also have the Doklama Road which was also started by a contractor. The tar portion of it was just about a kilometer or two, and the rest has been left since 2015 thereabout. Nothing has since happened on that road. There are other critical roads that we need to look at. We have an issue of water, potable water. There's always an irony of us living by the riverside, but washing our faces with spittle. You know Sugakopo, the location of Sugakopo and Southtown, we are by the Volta Lake. But unfortunately, we don't have potable water in most of our communities. And so you see these tricycles going to the riverside to fetch the raw water for communities. My home, particularly Kutame, has been without water for a very long time. And it's always a challenge for us, and we wish and hope that in the shortest possible time, the Kutame community will have potable water flowing through our pipes 24/7. I cannot see and say anything so significant from the staple of government that has happened in my constituency over the whole year and the review for the past 3 years. Now, of course, the MP has done his bit through his share of the common fund, and the district assembly, yes, some few projects that are ongoing, they are still continuing with those. There has not been any significant project that has been laid out and completed. And so generally, it's been an old story. Even though the year of roads has been declared 2 consecutive years, we are still without roads, and it's a big challenge for us. You know, my constituency is a rural community, not so rural, a semi-rural community, and so most of our challenges are roads. And we have arable lands. We need a lot of investors to come over and help. I am happy particularly about the budget where there's a 0 rating on agri products that will be imported into the country. Those were some of the issues that were raised with me when I won the parliamentary candidates, and I went through the whole constituency visiting some of the agro firms that we have in the constituency. Those were some of their concerns, that they need electricity extended to their farms to be able to help them pump water freely without they using the generators and buying so much water to pump, so that they can employ a lot more of my constituents on these farms. And also the tax on agri products when they are being imported into the country. So particularly, I'm happy seeing that in the budget of 2024. And so, my brother, generally speaking, these are the things that are happening in my constituency. There has not been any significant touch on any serious sector of the economy around my place. Of course, there is this one district, one factory that is located at Kutame, a banana farm. Even though those things have long been there, and some way, somehow, they converted them to a 1D, 1F. Beyond that, there are a lot of things we can touch on. There's poultry, there's aquaculture. Unfortunately, the spillage has destroyed most of these people, and most of them are in debt now. So the spillage, of course, you knew about it. We were vociferous over these issues when it happened, and still we have issues about settlement of our people. Some few communities within the North Town and the Central Town are having some resettlement homes being built, courtesy some benevolent societies, some groups, CTFM and other groups are also helping in some of these things. But my constituency in particular has not seen any resettlement package in terms of homes. That's what we are praying for.
So where are the people now? Where are they now?
Within the South Town and
Maxwell,
my brother Ben.
Maxwell, where are the people now? Those who were affected, the resettlement plans haven't taken off. Where are they now? Where are they staying?
Sincerely, even during the time of the spillage and the flood, I told you that by our nature within the constituency, we have a nuclear family system that we always try to help one another in times of need. So most of those people went to their family homes to perch with their family and other friends. And now that the water has receded, most of the people have gone back to their homes. Those who have their switch homes destroyed will still have to perch with some people. Some are asking us to help them with some number of bags of cement to be able to start. But sincerely, the economy itself is not too good. Things are so bad, and we will not be able to help them in any of these resettlements. So you see some of them still perching with family and friends, and that is the situation we have at hand.
All right. Thank you for giving us a scoop, at least on your constituency. Let me come back into the studio. Doc, so here we are, 2023 is gradually coming to a close. Yeah. It's been a year of flipping and flopping. It's been a year filled with so many things, positive and negative. For you, what would be the highlights from 2023? Especially as a politician, what would be your highlights?
Well, I think that one, this year, we cannot forget some of the lives we lost. And you know, we had some stewards that we lost, not to, you know, talk about their impact to Ghana's, you know, political landscape. You know, many people, unfortunately.
I think very recently you lost Madame Bouzia as well.
Correct. Which I think the funeral will be later on. And we had former finance, you know, committee chairman also who passed on. And then lawyer, if I remember, I'm trying to remember his name, one of the NPP lawyers just recently.
I think the name escapes me.
Yes, escapes me too. So we've lost quite a bit of people. And then on the entertainment side too, you know, we unfortunately had the likes of Ampedu's funeral and others. But more importantly, I think Parliament this December was not as chaotic as last year.
We're in the throes of securing an IMF deal.
Yes, you know, and I must thank the opposition party to an extent. I
have a question. Why do you, especially on the majority side, like referring to them as opposition instead of the minority?
Well, the
opposition almost comes across as
okay.
I don't know why you like that.
Let me use a different word. But as it is, they oppose government. I mean, that is what they do at the moment. You know, they've shown some level of commitment. You know, in terms of the challenges. You know, I think that even in being an opposition leader or an opposition party, it's important that you do certain things right. And I must say that this December, we reduced the infighting and we thought about Ghana. And I also have to say that Finance Ministry did us a favor, I mean, largely because I think that this last budget was without a lot of, let me say, pork chops, or shall I say, things that were going to trigger a lot of fights, except for, you know, tax revenue measures that were, or government revenue measures that were put in there. And they were all largely to help Ghana. And I think that we had less controversial issues with our 2024 budget. And kudos to Finance Ministry for doing that. And I also say that many of the ministries also did a good job of presenting things that Ghanaians will consider as very crucial to our success next year. And overall, I'm happy to say that next year, the roads will be much better attended to compared to this year. And for that reason alone, I'm very happy, and I think that the road minister, Mwakwata, will have a little bit of peace of mind next year.
Why? On what
in this budget
are you able to say that?
In this budget,
because
in this budget,
we don't necessarily, you know that budget in, budget out. You can look at the projections there. They don't necessarily materialize on the ground. You're fully aware.
Well, I think that.
So I want to know where your optimism is coming from.
I'm very optimistic in the sense that listen, of all the roads, Tema Motorway. I mean, I believe that...
I'm using it very recently.
I believe that a lot of people, once they see construction on Tema Motorway, and in terms of the financing provided, the rapid nature in which it will be done, it will make people have some restoration of happiness and some restoration of hope in governance. And I believe that of all the roads next year, for me, my Christmas present was Tema Motorway. Because I use that road sometimes to the Volta region, I use that road sometimes to Akosombo, and also to Tema. And I believe that many Ghanaians in Accra also use Tema Motorway. No matter where you are in this country, when your things come to the port, you have to use Tema Motorway. And even when you're going to Bolgatanga, you still will have to plow that road.
It depends on which port.
I mean, unless it's Takrade.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
But largely, if you're using Tema Motorway, and I also believe that this will even enhance and improve on Tema's intake, because many more people will be much comfortable now once Tema Motorway has been done to have their shipment move from Tema into the land. So I'm saying,
but I'm curious. Do you know whether it's going to be concrete or asphalted? Because that has been one major concern. You are patching concrete with
no. This is going to
other
be
things
redone.
I get the point, but
it'll be asphalt.
If we had the means, concrete roads are the best. There's no question about it. Concrete roads are the best, and that's why the Tema Motorway was what it was, like the Autobahn in Germany.
Yes,
you get it.
Yes.
So if we're going to remake it, my concern is if we're going to do asphalt, for example, look at other roads. Is it going to be comparable or even better than the N1, for example, which has been categorized as being top notch, or what? Because concrete is the best. So then again, that is where I have my concerns.
This will be very modern. Up to the world standards that we all desire for.
Are you going into the roads ministry next year?
No, but
it appears you may know certain things that
roads are dear to all of us. Right. I mean, and I can also even add the fact that the Pokwase to Nsawam Road, oh my goodness, that will feel like heaven for me once those multiple lanes are done. I mean, moving from here to Nkoko will be so quick. And then let me add that the additional road work being done from the Eastern Corridor to Kumasi, fantastic. So I think next year, Ghanaians will see the dollar amount that has gone into roads and will have a feel of it. And I think some of the noise will come down. And personally, too, I'm excited about the fact that...
You say some of the noise?
Yeah, I mean...
You refer to the complaints as noise?
Well, no matter what you do, there's chatter, there's some level of dissatisfaction with the government. But I really think that when people sit in their coastal, VIPs and things, and they are heading to the eastern region on these multiple dual carry, it's even like 10 lanes. When they see this, I think that the pressures, the upsetness, the dissatisfaction with the government will come down. And then more importantly, from Osino, connecting to Kumasi, when this road is completed and people are using that road, what makes me happy, and let me say this on record, once you have multiple lanes in one direction, your accidents reduce. The need for overtaking on the Kumasi-Accra highway will reduce. And the number of accidents we see on that road will go down. Let me also add that Central Region is also getting a facelift. From Kaswa further on to Central Region is getting that dual carriage. And accidents on that road, we know, from Winneba, further into Cape Coast. Major issue. Now that Road Minister has even cut the sword, not just talk, construction has begun. It is fantastic. Now, the Santa Clausians who are going to Cape will enjoy their drive. St. Augustine's will enjoy their drive. So all of these Infantiman,
I think you've made your point on that.
And kudos to my Wafa. I always call him Wafa. And
this one, it appears you are using our show to lobby. You are,
no.
You are praise mongering and hoping that. But in the interim, I have questions for you. Just quickly, because I'll bring in Max. Benjamin Dari, thank you for helping us with the name. He says Lawyer Akoto Ampao.
Correct.
Lawyer Akoto Ampao. Yes. Benjamin Dari, thank you so much for that. It escaped both of us. Then Samuel Sampson, I just want a very quick, because I need to bring in Maxwell, says, please ask Dr. Adomako Kisi why the roads in the main Anya enclave, particularly Anya Atlas, have been abandoned. That place has been in the hands of the NPP for more than 16 years, and yet all the road construction works are seen in Soweto. Well, how do you respond to him? Very quickly, very
Okay, so Anya Zonal Council is Anya East, and that is not Soweto, and that has been done. Once the construction is done there, one of the key places we are looking at is NIC. And NIC will see something. Palace Town is also very dear to me. And Palace Town has had, roadworks before, except for the fact that the rains have washed away all the asphalt that was done for Palace Town. And that is why drains are very important and dear. And let me commit here that NIC, I won't say the names, but it's being pushed heavily so that we see day and night. Next
Are you saying where he's referring to is not part of your constituency?
NIC connects to Atlas.
But is it part of your constituency? Or
oh, yes.
It is within your constituency.
And that's why I'm saying that, there's Anya West and East. And for me, the Anya enclave, where he's talking about, is on the other side, where there's Palace Town, NIC, Gonze, going to Agape. And I'm here to assure him that once we move from the eastern corridor of Anya, we'll be entering the western corridor.
All right.
So he should be expecting that.
All right. Maxwell, if you can hear me, I'm coming to you now for your reflection on the year 2023. You made a point about the fact that, he's talking about all these places, roads and all of that, and that it may have to do with the apportioning. And I believe it was the Member of Parliament for Sisala West, Mr. Sukbaru, who came on the show and mentioned that, yes, sometimes there are these, I think he was on with you. Was he on with you?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
He made mention of the fact that, these conversations happen, but sometimes if you're coming from the minority end and you're not in government, you can lobby and lobby and lobby. If there are 10 slots, 8 or 7 will be given to those who are affiliated to the ruling administration, and another, maybe just the few left, are distributed to the others. You are not in Parliament yet, but what are your reflections generally on Ghana in 2023 and your constituency throughout this year and what you've received? You have to unmute.
I think you have... Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Please go ahead.
All right. So like you have confirmed, other people have same concerns. As if the distribution is so unfair. Let them not forget that this is Ghana and the cake is for Ghana. Let us look at priority areas and make sure we do same. In distributing these things, we should be fair in this. For some of us, it is not surprising because I remember a whole year's budget. There was no mention of any town in the Volta region in that year's budget. And that's NPP for you. But I don't think that these things would have to continue.
Maxwell, I recall it was said that there was a mistake somewhere. Did you hear that or not?
It did happen. It did happen. It's not a fabrication from me, so it did happen. So somebody has also confirmed that if you have about 10 road contracts given out, about 8 of them will go to NPP-affiliated communities or with MPs, and then maybe 1 or 2 will be given to other people. And so it's a confirmation of what the situation is. I'm just saying that under normal circumstances, this thing should not happen. And so let's not encourage them happening. Because like I alluded to earlier, I have not seen any road construction happening within my constituency in the past 3 years or in the NPP government or administration. Those that were started were even stalled. Up to now, nothing has happened. Do you remember the Cocoa roads that were started that government never went back to them with the excuse that they are doing auditing, and up to now the auditing was done. No adverse findings were made, but still those roads have not been continued up to now. You remember the Eastern Corridor route. At a point I heard they had to come back to it, but whether it is still going on is another issue. So these are fair points for me to make. I'm not sure that it's out of malice that I'm making this point. Now, beyond that, another thing of concern to me is this Ken Oforiatta fallout. At the point, it was the same majority caucus in Parliament that rose against him, led by Arnold Dombre, that he has to resign because things were not the way we expected to be, and that we have fallen so deep into the doldrums of poverty, and nothing was happening. That was the time we were going to IMF, and they had to shout on top of their voices. The president had to call them, assuage their fears that as soon as the IMF deal was over, he was going to sack him or he himself was going to resign. What do we see? Ken Ofori-Atta is still there, and he's still causing the mess. I remember the DDEP, the Domestic Debt Exchange Program, that became a headache. They said they were not going to give haircuts. Haircuts were given. Senior citizens will have to cry. They have to demonstrate. They have to come and sit in the ministries. And so many things went so wrong. Things that we have never experienced in this country have happened. And so 2023 generally for NPP has been a very, very terrible year. And I think they themselves know. And so they have confessed on several platforms that things have not been too good for the NPP government in 2023. Ken Ofori-Atta is still there. We are expecting him to resign. The Bank of Ghana governor...
You're expecting Ken Ofori-Atta to resign. I think, I'm sorry, but is that realistic? I mean, to place things in the proper perspective. Even members of parliament from the NPP end, for the first time in our Fourth Republic, a number of them said he should go, spoke to Mr. President. There were some promises about let's complete the IMF deal and all of that. And he's still at post, and you're still dreaming of Ken Ofori-Atta going. Are you being realistic?
Very, very, very realistic. So the promise the president made to us all is one of their usual lies. Is it one of their usual lies? They will just come and throw dust into our eyes and that's it. The president made a firm concluding statement that after the IMF deal, Ken Ofori-Atta was going to go. Was it not so? So it is not me saying he should go.
I don't know what the president meant by when the deal is concluded, because we are still in the grips of an IMF program.
He was in the middle of the IMF deal, and once the deal is over, and of course, once the first tranche of the IMF money came, it meant that everything went, even though it is coming to the fore that most of the presentations that they made were false presentations, for which reason the IMF is not releasing the second tranche of the money that we expected. I think in November, and December is ended. We've not heard anything. We are going to January. It meant that he was not doing a good job, and some of us expect him still to go because he claims he's not taking salary. I don't know why he wants to hold on. Is it only because of the kickbacks he gets for his company when he goes to?
We don't know that for a fact.
No, but that is.
You can't say that, Maxwell. We don't know that for a fact.
All right. So, what other reasons will motivate him to stay on, not wanting to resign?
That question you can ask, but whether he takes kickbacks or not, we don't know. We can't say that for a fact.
So I'm asking, what is the other motivation which is not making him resign? The next thing I want to talk about is the 24-hour economy that John Dramani Mahama, the incoming president of Ghana, has said being a pillar in the 2024 manifesto promise of the great NDC to the people of Ghana. And I believe that this is a very thought-through policy that is coming to the fore. Of course, some people who haven't given serious thought to it want to poo-poo it, but at the end of the day, they have to quickly stage a walk back because they realize that Ghanaians will take it from them. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia tried to poo-poo on that, but he had to withdraw quickly. It's a very serious policy that I believe that if all of us apply our mind to it, it's going to be the game changer from 2025 when he becomes the president of Ghana. And so for me, let us rather look for the details of this 24-hour economy that is going to bring on board a lot of people. For instance, if you have one strip of workers now in a particular company, you are going to have to triple that because some people will go from morning, another in the afternoon to evening, and then some will do in the night to morning.
Maxwell, a quick one. I am all for this 24-hour economy, and it doesn't have to do with the NDC or the NPP. Any party which would have come up with this, because it's been on the drawing board, sitting there, like some of us have mentioned, since we came out with our 40-year development plan. And famously or infamously, those words of Yawo Safo, no country plans beyond a certain number of years. We've all seen that. But you also do realize, one, we're in the grips of an IMF program, okay? We are limited. There are some things we are having to do now, which this administration would probably not have wanted to do by way of taxes, by way of cuts, Remember the days of structural adjustment. You're forced to do it because the IMF, you've presented a program to the IMF and they are helping you execute and they are funding you. That is one. Two, I've always said that any administration that takes over, from 2025 is going to face quite a hurdle. It's going to be steep economically. We've dug ourselves into a big hole, and it's not going to be easy moving out of that hole. It may take a long time, decades, to get out of where we are. Now, number three, this promise, while it is doable, and while I have shared my own thoughts, blunt thoughts and other things on it, and its viability and the possibilities, you must also take stock of the fact that it's going to take a lot, even financially speaking, to get it off the ground, not to talk of sustaining it. How is your party considering all of this in terms of execution?
The free SHS policy has been one of the cardinal pillars in the policies of the country, where we said there is going to be progressively free education. The NPP came and made it a topical issue, implemented it, and making it look as if it was their brainchild, even though it's been there all along. So the 24-hour economy, yes, it's something we have been thinking about, but who is bringing it to the fore? Who is giving it flesh? Who is giving it meaning? Who is giving it word? And so it is JDM. And so for me, it's a plus for him to bring this to the fore for us to all think about and talk about and implement. Of course, there are a lot of things that we still import. Katie Hammond, in a Rambo style, wanted to just stop the importation of some of the items he feels we can produce in Ghana. But whether we have that self-sufficiency that we are able to produce these things, for which reason he's going to stop. There are a lot of companies that will need a push from government, a support from government to be able to do the things we wish them to double or triple their produce.
Right.
So for me, it is good that these things are coming to the fore. Of course, there's going to be challenges every day, any time. The challenges we are facing now, we have never faced in the history of Ghana, but we are enduring.
Okay.
And so whichever can, depending on the driver we bring on board, that is why most people think that Bawumia is not fit to even be considered in the first place as a presidential candidate for the NPP, let alone the president of Ghana, because you are the one who touted all the policies and the economic policies that you think you were coming to implement, coming to government. You were all over the roofs from one university to the other, giving lectures, giving explanations, talking about theories, and now that you're on the seat, you can't implement any of them. You have all of a sudden become an IT expert and talking about digitalization and other things. Of course, digitalization has also not started from his time, because so many of these things were done in the time past, and e-governance is something that was being practiced all along or was in the process of being implemented before he came in with this digitalization agenda, which is not new. So my point is that things will be challenging, but depending on the driver you have the seat, because he's been in government before, he knows how to drive around some of these things that we face in government. He's able to drive us through the challenges we face. He's only going to give support to some groups of companies, make sure we have security provided 24/7. There are a lot of our young ones who want to go to the police service and other security services. By day, if there's an advert floated in the dailies, you see the number of people who apply to be employed into the security services. But maybe because we do not know exactly how we're going to deploy them to places, we take only few numbers. So I think that was
Maxwell. Max, I think your point is made there, and your party has also been expanding on it. I hear there's some document in the offing in terms of what the plan really is and how you're going to sustain it. I'm just saying that I keep saying, whether it's NPP or NDC, if you do the right things that work for everybody and the economy is good and everything is going well, I stand there. That is where I stand, if it's good for the people. So this is a good idea. Just as I said, free SH is a good idea. I don't like the implementation. But in this instance as well, I feel it's a good idea. I'm always looking out for how it will be executed. But let me bring in, I must state that we have a maximum of 10 minutes left. I want us to apportion it prudently, which is why before I come to you, hold on, before I come to you for your reactions, I want us to take a quick look at two crucial issues, unemployment and corruption.
Yeah.
Corruption, look, people, you heard him talk about Ken Ofori-Atta, the finance minister, the perception in there. We have the SML deal recently that has also, we are losing so much. Even if we were getting the barest minimum out of corruption in terms of the 3 billion plus, it goes as high as 6 billion per estimates that we lose, we probably wouldn't be with the IMF because that's exactly the same amount we're getting from them. And we lose that every year to corruption. Then there's job creation, unemployment. I want those two to be the crucial conversations we have as we cap off, because those could also determine the elections in 2024. Right. So quick reaction, then give me your thoughts on these two, and then I'll come to you, Maxwell, then it's a wrap.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to say to Maxwell, I remember some George touting Agenda 111 in his constituency, and that is NDC. I remember Dafiamapo.
I don't know about touting. I think
no. I mean, he said that he's gotten one Agenda 111, and it is true. It's been done. Dafiamapo, his roads have been done. He also even has an Agenda 111. So I just want to dissuade.
One road. I remember. He
major
was here on this platform. He
one major road at Peki, a major one, not a small one.
You say roads.
You understand?
And I'm saying at least for me.
No. It's that stretch makes a huge difference. Okay. From Peki entering Hohoi, major road. So I just wanted to dissuade his mind about the fact that the NPP has maybe not done anything for where it's NDC strongholds. Tema motorway is not MPP or NDC. Tema motorway is for all of us. Greater Accra region, if we're talking about a region that MPP lost a lot of seats, is Greater Accra. So when we are doing Tema motorway and you tell me that, and listen, Central region.
But he didn't say it specifically talking
about. He was making that information. So forgive me. I have to make it clear and known to everybody that the NPP has touched everywhere, in as much as he may think. And it is listen, Adaklu has gotten one of the biggest water processing things. About 15
plants.
Yes, plants. A lot of money invested in that. I think about 15 million euros or so. Heavy. So when you sit on TV via Zoom to make these allegations, I'll beg that
made that. Please, let's focus. Now, we have limited time.
One thing,
jobs, corruption, and Ken Ofori-Atta is still at post. Are you happy with that?
One thing
Are you happy with Ken Ofori-Atta still being at post?
I wish
one of those MPs back then are you happy with Ken Ofori-Atta being at post?
At the moment, I think things have turned around.
Things have turned around.
Yes.
So now you're happy with Ken Ofori-Atta.
And I think we should allow him to work.
We should allow him to. On Twaso.
Until such a time that the president determines he's the appointing authority, to make a change. That is, and let me be with my general secretary here. I think that some of us
things that should be a reshuffle, and that some people are simply not doing the work.
Some changes. That one, I'll end the year making that claim that I think that some fresh faces, some fresh ideas might engage our youth more. And that one is a different discussion. And in governance, anytime you do some reshuffle, it helps. It brings in new energy, and people also have a new excitement. So that one, but that is the president's decision to make. I don't have that pay grade. I'm not at the presidential level. I'm a member of parliament, and I'll do what I can do within my small quarter. So that is one thing. Now, one thing I need to share with the Ghanaian people, and hear me out here. I've done a lot of brokerage in the past in the US, and the truth is that in any transaction, there are fees and payments that are due people involved in that transaction. It is unfortunate that in our country, we fail to acknowledge that, in whatever work you do, those fees are not corrupt.
Are you speaking in respect of SML?
No, I'm talking in respect of some of the many transactions.
Because there can be these transactions, and yes, fees must be paid, but they can be tweaked, and that things are going wrong. You're also aware of that, right?
I appreciate that, but my key thing is that, it is unfortunate that at many times, some of the clear transactional deals are blown up and quote unquote labeled as corruption. Now, the reason why I say this is that, listen, there's a cultural bit in doing business in Ghana, which we cannot. Yes, we want to inquire him fear with nothing. Those cultural bits, when you mirror
those cultural bits that are corrupt, so to speak, we must stick to the culture and do it. No, that's what we're saying.
Listen. Let me say this carefully. You know, yes, I'm a Marian Tonchini. In as much as we do business in this country, for instance, if you are building a road and there's a shrine and you want to move that shrine away, boss, you have to pay homage to the township, pay homage to the people, and do the appropriate thing before you move the shrine. If you say that it's a corrupt practice, I'll tell you that, Maza, then you don't mean business.
Then I don't.
You get my point.
And I'll let you wrap on that. But I don't think during the former president's, I'm talking about John Mahama's tenure, when you remember the Burkinabe businessman Kanazwe and the Ford saga.
Yeah.
Some of us went hard on that.
Yes.
Okay.
And rightly so.
Rightly so. But the point is, he didn't even take custody of it. He put it in the pool, and I still fault him for that. But he put it in the general pool for the presidency and all of that. I still fault him for it anyway.
Agreed.
But then that shouldn't have been an issue. After all, hey,
and that comes back to my point that many of us have mistaken, and I said that we've mistaken, the traditional approach. Because listen, if I intend to even build a hospital for a township in any of our traditional areas, I cannot do that without at least getting the audience of the king and chiefs or queens of those areas. And in that interaction and engagement, you'd have to refresh them. So this is basically our tradition, and that cannot be done away with. Now, when you go beyond our tradition, and there are demands that are not agreeable with the two parties or per international practices, that is where then I have a problem. So in Sakakra, Begu or forming there, that one, those things.
Has corruption got to levels that are becoming, that basically are hampering our progress as a country? Do you think we're there?
I think that some perceptions have been erroneous. And I think that media
But is there corruption?
There is some level, yes, absolutely. I mean, as you grow as a nation, as population grows, crime rates will increase. Likewise, as government size also increases, the level of corruption, no matter what. The corruption we saw in 1978 under the leadership of Rawlings will be smaller.
I have this final bit for you. Do you think we could do with fewer ministers?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Let me bring in, I'll come back with, for each of you, 30 seconds and then we go. But Maxwell, it's your turn now. So the issue of job creation, the issue of corruption, quickly on those so that I can give you 30 seconds each. Final words, we're gone. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so the issue of corruption, we cannot agree that it is choking. And if you see the index, it keeps increasing by the day. And we are not going back. The best or the worst of the NDC's corruption perception, I think, is the best for the NPP. And it means that things are getting deteriorated. NPP came to power on the platform that there was so much corruption. You mentioned one of them, this kind of thing. And I'm sure that fault is still in the pool of government, whatever they have done to that vehicle. I'm not
if,
sure.
If you don't know that for sure, you can't, you're saying you are...
No, but what I'm saying is that Mahama didn't take that fault away. It is in the pool of government. Whether they have sold it out or given it out to another person is what
But was there the need to even accept it anyway? Because we knew for certain that this Burkinabe businessman wanted contracts, I think road contracts, if memory serves. And that is the level. While I can agree not to fault him to a certain extent, he wasn't taking it for himself or anything. The mere fact that you're taking it, you go to other jurisdictions, right? And even if you take $500 or $5,000 from anybody, you have to give account of it. Once you are in public office, you have to do that. Go to Rwanda. Recently, I followed a story about this minister. He was pretty popular, did a few things. I think he took, was it $5,000 or something, ended up with a hefty jail term, and they are actually fining him about 10 times the sum. Why can't we do that?
My brother, where we
or
are...
you also agree with the Amamre bits that Doc is speaking of?
The Amamre bit is part of that. And you see some of these things, they are creations of our society that always goes with that. You go to places and the security man thinks that you have to tip him. The driver of the company thinks that you owe him something. Everybody there thinks that once you have come and you are looking quite good, you should distribute money to everybody.
So if we are doing it this way, how do we stamp out corruption?
No, we have to definitely stamp out corruption. So my point is that what happened at that time, JDM didn't take that for himself. So I don't see the point in playing him. But Manasseh has already made capital out of that. People bought into it, and that is where we are now. Now, looking at the situation we are in, I think it's choking. And the earlier we all sit down as a country and think about the ways we can reduce these things and bring it to the barest minimum is what the discussion we should be having. As for whether this man was more corrupt or the other was more corrupt, it is inevitable.
Okay.
Ghanaians now know that NPP cannot do anything about corruption. For which reason the situation is so bad that most of their MPs, I think about 18 or more of them, are not even seeking re-election because they know the grounds are not too good for them. Like he alluded to earlier, there's no reshuffle.
But some of them have been there for a long time. Osechi Mensah Bonsu, Honorable Atachia, among others. Some of them have been there. They are part of the longest serving MPs. For some of them, it actually makes sense.
I didn't see the name of the old man, Katie Hammond. Honorable.
This table you are shaking, eh? Anyway. Maxwell, are you on? Oh, I think his feed is frozen. Maxwell, please try and reconnect with us. Maxwell, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Okay, please wrap in 1 minute. Please wrap. 1 minute.
Yeah, sure. So my point is that things are not too good, and Ghanaians have come to realize that. If you look at the researches that have been made, I think is it Afro Informatics or something? The research that has come.
Global Info Analytics, is that what you're referring to?
Say that again.
Is it Global Info Analytics or is it Afrobarometer?
Yes, about the possibility of the percentage of or the possibility of JDM winning the 2024 election hands down. And I think that the NPP and Pawmia are struggling. I'm sure that is what has informed most of their MPs to not want to put themselves out for ridicule. It is clear that things have got so bad and that the NDC is coming back in 2025.
Okay. Maxwell, final words for us. You can also share a Christmas message as we cap off.
Yeah, sure. So my point specifically about the spillage and its effect is that the 220 million that has been budgeted for taking care of my people should come. It should not just be on paper. People should not go and drink tea, sitting down and having meetings, but we should make sure that this 220 million gets to the people. My concern now is the resettlement homes that we need to give to these people. I was looking to some of our chiefs that we need to put land available so that as soon as some group of companies come, we should be able to give them space and land to build these resettlement homes for our people. Let me use this opportunity to wish a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance to all my constituents, all my colleagues, my friends, my team members, and everybody. You know, I won my primaries earlier this year. Let me say hi to everybody who supported in getting that through. And
all right, my final bit. I'm sorry to do this. I think you've addressed all of that. I have this bit that skipped my mind. You remember, I was talking about the two who have recently been killed in the OT area in respect of national security. Do you have any quick thoughts on that? Very briefly.
Yeah, I think the Jasikan KJB district about this cocoa smuggling to neighboring Togo. It's unfortunate. You hear the situation on the ground is that the cocoa buying companies don't have money to even buy the cocoa they intend to buy. How can you buy cocoa without money? And when the people are looking for market to go and sell their produce and feed themselves during Christmas, you go.
What do you want to see done? What do you want to see done?
No, you see, let's apply common sense to some of the things we do. Why would you go and you don't ensure that the cocoa buying companies have money to buy, and you are just chasing and killing?
But it also doesn't give them. It also doesn't give them the right to smuggle, right?
So what do you want them to do? To give the cocoa?
No, are you supporting smuggling?
No, my point is that if you want the cocoa buying companies to buy from them, make sure that they have money to buy.
All right, thank you, Max.
This syndicated loan that they are going for, how much have they got? They couldn't make much, and so they are poor. So
I get your point. I get your point, Maxwell. Thank you very much. Doc, final words. In less than a minute. We have to go.
Every political figure, whether NDC or NPP, seeks the interest of Ghana. And let me say that the approaches might be different. But I've come to believe that all political apparatchiks or people have the interest of Ghana at heart and afford us the opportunity to work for you. We are there for you. And I personally, Dr. Admanku Kisi, the Member of Parliament for Anyaso Tum, is there ready to listen to your concerns and will push for projects in my constituency. And I'm hoping that the NPP delegates on 27th of January gave me a second chance. Based on my experience, I believe that I can do a lot of good for my constituency.
All right.
So they should stay with me. Thank you very much.
Those who joined this conversation, Member of Parliament for Anyaso Utuom, Dr. Dixon Adomaku Kisi, and of course, Maxwell Lukutor, the NDC's parliamentary candidate in South Tong. Maud, I saw you doing the watching. Thank you very much for doing the mischievous watching. Maud, I'll not mention your other name, so people don't know you've been mischievous. We're back into the studio. We're going to be talking about food. Of course, nutrition is key as we head into this end of the year, head into the new year as well. Let me tell you about Future Life Smart Food from Yabolivia Enterprise. They are marketers of Future Life Smart Foods. Zero sugar. Now, Future Life Zero Smart Food is smart because it is a scientifically formulated low GI. When I say low GI, the glycemic index is what I'm referring to. Food that contains or combines 22 vitamins and minerals, 19 amino acids, omega-3, inulin, that is probiotics, selenium, and Moducare. All these benefits with zero added cane sugar. No cane sugar. It's free. Joining us for a conversation on that, we have Olivia Dadze. She is a health ambassador with Future Life Smart Food. We also have Yawbachi Adam, CEO of Yabolivia Enterprise. Gentlemen, lady, thank you for joining the conversation.
Thank you too. Thank you.
All right. I'll start with you on the end of Mr. Boache. I'll start with you. Future Life Smart Foods. How long have you been around? Tell us a bit about Yabolivia and how long this enterprise has been around, bringing in Future Life.
All right, thank you so much. Yabolivia is a company in Ghana, and it combines myself and my wife,
okay,
which is Yawbachi Adam and Olivia Dadze.
Okay.
So basically, we got two names combined.
Oh, so that's how you have the Yabolivia,
yes.
Yawbachi, and then Olivia. Okay. Obianya the representation. Everybody is in there. How long have you been around?
Well, we've been in this system for the past 13 years.
13 years?
Yes.
And all this while, have you been into foods?
Yeah, all this while into food, because right from the beginning, I thought of myself being a medical doctor. Well, I couldn't move ahead just because of financial constraints.
Oh.
Then I stepped out from education and then went into business. So my whole concern is that I would take health issues as my prime motive. So when I got married to my wife, we got babies, let's say children, and I told her that I want to be in the health sector. So basically we had, at the moment we have 5 kids. 4 are medical doctors.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And the last one, we wanted her to be a pharmacist, but she insists on saying that while the other 4 are all in health, she wants to go in the law side.
Why? I just saw that coming.
Yeah. So now.
So she came to join us.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, we are still in the health system. And my wife got sick right from Ghana here. Initially, they thought that it was fibroid. It was fibroid. So we went to South Africa, and one night something came out and she was seriously sick. She was taken to the hospital. Lo and behold, there she was diagnosed and found out that she was having kidney stones and 4 different types of ulcer.
Wow.
So she was having gastritis, which is the acid influx. She was having peptic ulcer. and then gastrointestinal ulcer. So many ulcers. You know, ulcer is about 6 in number. She was having 4. So she was asked to take Future Life as her food. And Future Life, like you said earlier on, it contains 22 vitamins and minerals. Now, we've been on medication for a long time. You can see our fathers, grandfathers, our brothers, our seniors. You see them every morning. Some of them get this medication in their hands. They take it in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. So the too much medication is enough. Now let us.
And of course, it also affects as you take in medicine, even the best of them, they also have side
effects.
And it includes working on your kidneys, your liver, all those organs that have to process.
Yes. And if you heard me right, I said she was having kidney stones. And most people in Ghana here are suffering from this disease.
And a lot of people without even knowing it.
Yeah, a lot of people. I mean, you can count how many percent. And then she was asked to take Future Life. She took the Future Life. Lo and behold, everything disappeared.
I see. So I guess that is how all of this happened.
Yeah,
and you are the one.
That is why it came into Ghana. Then we said, no, we won't sit down for our brothers and sisters or families to die.
Okay.
We will make sure these things come down here. So lo and behold, we have brought it for the benefit of everybody, irrespective of sex.
Okay, I see there it is diabetes friendly and all of that.
Yeah.
Which brings me to Olivia now. You went through all of this.
Yes.
What has Future Life done for you, basically?
Okay, Future Life has done a lot for me because I was in London at first. I was safe at London. When I was in London, I got...
And by the way, let our viewers know that she's going to be interspersing the English with she, so that all of us, there can be more understanding for everyone who's watching.
Okay. It's me yare na me London. Enti echeya na me Ghana. Enti be tonkwale aduane enti me call South Africa na yare no ko buy na me company no de me call hospital. Enti omo hwe me no no mbisa me say me doctor or Ghana na me say nti no say South Africa de omo ye proper checks. Nti omo hwe me nyina na omo hwe say kidney stones na say affect me liver ka fi say me num pi
nroba is ana na wo no
sa me nya painkiller bi e wo London nti no me no me pa
asa na ye we dey painkiller dey nya dey na nka e no obesi ano
eti omo dey aduane no ma me no omo che me say me ni aduane bi nti omo ma me vegetables 12 bi nti me di no we na nti 3 weeks time no me buy no na me sa ko hu me doctor na ni nyina akọ fi say me di dia na jirija me koko nti after that no na me so say me to kwant me kru ekoi no mbisa say de we mbisi be yare no nti no dia na ha Ghana pa nti okeka yare pressure diabetes stroke heart attack edimane ade na omo ma eduro bi on dey amfa bi am fe life tonic omo dey lives 2018 na yes our life tonic no bibi e chronic bia no onuma especially o heart problem onum ya na ni nyina akọ nti ye de ade me ko yare 12 years ago na me yare be nyare biom nti every year na me ko check up nti wo be hwe me kidney say more 13 years nti no akoye te say enuane na do so nye ni nyina na de bae wo hwe website wo kura wo be hu nti onu ma pie bo ni pedua no nti ya yeta aba adom ne asempa ba ati say peso bia di aduane bi so wo na do so hwe Japan na gone too soon cry 85 years ba ha no obi nya 60 years kura we so yare ontimi nya hwe say yes ye nyare me say 12 years pa ni de me nyare biem enti pese e boduane ho da ro no bia di bi nkola di bi we san nkola di na we diabetic friend you know
penifons di
we no e mu we de nkola di we de penifon kwa na di we nkola ntimi ni
okay so what she's basically saying is that some 12 years ago she had this encounter where, like her husband has pointed out, she had diabetes, 4 different ulcers and all of that. She went for some checks in South Africa. It was determined that she had all of these complications. The recommendation was made for her to get Future Life Smart Foods. She started getting on them, took some other products in the line or in the range, and since that time she practically doesn't fall ill. She says her kidneys are those of, you can compare them to those of a 13-year-old, and that these really sustain her. And like I see there, it says it's diabetes friendly. Let me ask you. So for those who may be hypertensive and others, what is the range of ailments this looks at?
You know,
and by the way, let me confirm, this is not medicine, right? These are supplements.
It's a natural food supplement.
These are supplements.
Yes.
So just to clarify out there, it's not medication. These are supplements.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
It's a natural food supplement, but you know, we are not being allowed to make mention of any sickness or disease because of FDA regulations.
Okay, all right.
So therefore, because we are in the festive season, you know, most people are being relaxing, eating and drinking in their homes with their families, enjoyment, fine. But the best thing is, you need to eat Future Life in the morning as breakfast. You take your own local food as lunch. Then you take Future Life again as your dinner or supper. Then you take Life Tonic. Unfortunately, we're not able to bring the Life Tonic. I don't know what happened.
Which Olivia was talking about.
Yes, please. As for the Life Tonic, brother, I will make sure we get one. But I can tell you, if you know anybody having any cardiovascular problem, anything concerns with your heart, if I give the Life Tonic to you and you tell me, you come back to say after 1 week you haven't seen any positive results, come and take your money back. And I know what I'm talking about. Because I know that this is very, very effective. It has worked. Because we sat down with the manufacturers in Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University in South Africa. And I know what I'm talking about. You eat Future Life. If it's not car accident, there's no way you will die prematurely. There is no way you will die prematurely. And I do recommend the Future Life. This one is original, which everybody takes it. That every pregnant woman needs to eat this food because the cesarean section, they are enough, too much in the system. You taking this one from the age of 4 up to age of 120, which the Lord gave us. From 4 years to 120, this is your food. And this one is the diabetic friendly. So whatever you're suffering from, be it pressure, let's say hypertension, diabetes, heart problem, all the enlargements, I don't want to mention it because of FDA regulations. So your responsibility is to only take the food as this one as a breakfast. You take only 5 to 6 tablespoons in the morning, and then in the afternoon you eat your food as lunch, local food. Then you take in the Future Life, this one again in the evening. Then, so this one.
We have another one that regulates the pressure. That one is zero
with O's. We've got 2 zeros. There's one zero smart food.
Okay.
There's another one called zero with O's. You mix the two together.
I see.
And then from there, you will see that you are fully fit, honestly speaking.
Okay, so we've looked at what this food is.
Exactly.
Who can take it? You've just mentioned the age ranges and everything, and what it does, basically. Olivia, near the chat one, person bisa intino assemble now obeka ka ho o wafamuda.
Okay.
Wo hu se na ye adwuma. Then na obeka esi ano.
Me pese me ka kire obia se on Future Life nye na aduane. If se wo nyina na aduoma bibre ekofom wo nipadua nim. Enti no enema na wo hwe na ulusu wo nipadua no Future Life hye ne ma. Akoye te se wo nsuo na se wo saa ni na abesa ba se nsuo no wo saa na wo de bigusu adabia na ye masa na Future Life tie. Time bia ma wo ye fresh. Ma wo joints nyina e kama wo se we no se reduce fatigue, bone support and immune support. Enti time bia na ma wo ye fresh. Ma wo obi okwa 70 years ahu na so 100. Future Life is na ma brain so te bibia ekofom bia wo nyina na wo brain ana wo nyina na wo bibia ekofom. Future Life boa ma wo nya atese wo nya ahode ankasa. Ma wo nya ahode ankasa ma wo nyare yare.
So basically what she's saying, it revitalizes you, the products, it keeps you staying young. She talks about the brain, for example. You know that nutrition, especially growing up, especially with children at a tender age, they need a certain level of nutrition, else stunting or cretinism will happen. And even as you age as well, as you taper off, that also happens. And so once you get these, you get the right supplements in the right levels so that you can sustain yourself. Any final words? I see also that you say it is a scientifically formulated low GI, I mentioned, glycemic index food. It combines 22 vitamins and minerals, 19 amino acids, omega-3, inulin, that is probiotic, selenium, and Moducare. And you say 4 nutrients assist in maintaining normal bones: calcium, vitamin D, vitamin K, and zinc. And it contains a whole lot more. So this is a wholesome food, yes, in every way. Any final words for us, Mr. Boachi?
Yes.
And where people can actually get the product, if there are any call lines, website.
Final way is that whilst you are enjoying in your homes with your family or whatever they call it, make sure you take in the Future Life, the Life Tonic. Okay. The Life Tonic to the elderly, I will recommend seriously. I want everybody to take it because I have used it. I've tried it. And it's working perfectly. So basically, whatever you are suffering from, be it prostate, be it heart problem, liver, kidneys, everything, you need a particular food called Future Life because of the vitamins and the minerals in it. So we are located at Ghana Telecom University opposite, which is the Cars Estate building, the Apeka Junction area here.
Right.
Ghana Telecom University opposite, under the Cars Estate building. We are there. And then our numbers are on the screen, or if you call it out, 0246 01 0150, 0246 010150, and 0242 878090. 0242 878090. I mean, we are decentralized in the whole nation.
Okay.
Yeah, everywhere in Ghana, you call us, we locate you because we can't announce all the towns and cities.
All right.
So
thank you very much. You can find them all across Ghana. What's the major tour?
Master major tour, make a common memano. Or my bread, a green tea for infections. And conformably treat prostate enlargement as a cancer. So, unya infections na and one of how we treat infections, I treat prostate and call this and one no my bread green tea be a one and one who are the amount of money be 7 why I'm red, a bit so dear enough phone, infections that causes our problem. Now you treat you or Barney Bearman to unum tea and morning in a bill. Tis a one who necessarily why I'm problems and now when I come.
Okay.
A green tea to right. The future life is all about your future. So be a being a brand young coupon. A man, if you say, "Wona you know, you're normal."
Mama Olivia Sibibre. So her final words, she's talking about the prostate as well. There's this green tea, and that also helps with the prostate, so that you can stay, like they've been saying, young, fresh, and you can live your life to the full. Mr. Boachi Adam, Sibibre.
Thank you.
And that is Yabolivia Enterprise. They bring in Future Life Smart Foods. Olivia Daze is a health ambassador with Future Life Smart Foods. Yaboachi Adam is CEO, Yabolivia Enterprise. And they joined us for this conversation.
Nestled in the heart of Tamfiano, a serene village in the Nkranza North District of the Bono East region, is the Tamfiano DA Basic School, a school with a unique set of challenges. It is the first school I have seen that serves as a burial ground and a sheep's pen. Yes, a cemetery and sheep pen sandwiched school, or describe it as between the final resting place of the departed and the bustling activity of a sheep pen. Teachers here are forced to compete with each other's voice as well as the rhythmic grazing of sheep, creating a sound that contests with the disharmony of honking cars and the persistent grinding of motorcycles passing by. Their pupils also struggle to focus in class due to the same factors serving as a constant distraction to the pursuit of knowledge within the school.
Say your school muhai, and ade papa say ye betina masua de nti. Ye sua de kra na ye ho tete.
We feel uncomfortable when learning. The bleating from goats, conversations from passers-by, and moving cars distract our lessons. We can barely hear our teachers when they teach.
Class for no musuandia. Omitimi yedede, Emma wow, teacher nature adian. Won't Ubeti edio mo kanimu, unti haidia. Na face so cast, name punchia mu yedede. Nina so now we share home. The teacher never can the best lab and so boy and a school na.
We are pleading with authorities to build the school, a new structure for us. There are no classrooms, no furniture, and no teaching and learning materials.
I really need your more teacher and question said say ni chop kukrampa ya de betwe se nkonwa se ya na de nkonwa fie ba yenua no monkitu anim se ubehu obi ba no so na konwa obi onya konwa no atena fom tie be slaban so be boayen amayanya school kama atena se yesu ade kra na moa no etim ben na ma ebinum timi rare class akra na eden ye pamom.
Animals sometimes enter our classrooms while we are learning, and we would have to stop and drive them away. Our attention is always divided because while listening to the teacher, you're also tempted to focus on conversations and activities going on outside.
I decided to experience it for myself, so I pitched camp at the footing of the junior high school JHS 1 class, and I could hear everything. Here, the JHS 1 pupils are learning science. The JHS 2 pupils are having their mathematics class. And the JHS 3 have social studies. But as I sit here in JHS 1, I can hear everything that is happening in the second and third classrooms. So this is the challenge here at the Tanfiano DA Basic School. Now, the history. Until 2016, the school lacked a JHS wing. Pupils aspiring to continue their education beyond the primary level had to embark on a journey spanning approximately 4 miles to Bodom or Kokuma. The construction of the JHS wing, achieved through communal labor, marked a milestone in the school's development. However, for 7 long years, the community has hung on to the hope that authorities would transform their makeshift pavilion into a complete classroom block, providing a conducive environment for teaching and learning. Unfortunately, this dream remains unfulfilled, and the school continues to grapple with the shortage of teachers, inadequate accommodation, and harsh conditions.
Community is abono homodin na school down or is you toy from a bunugu and structure.
The community has tried its best in building the school. The current classroom they are using was built by the community.
Bungalow no so community no and aboa. Community now holding so
we will urge the government to help develop the school and also post more teachers to the community.
Problem Emma Bribia teachers Mushaw Hanese. You supposed to be bad that the better accommodation na eating.
The reason why teachers refuse to be posted here is because of the accommodation issues. The community bungalow is just 3 rooms, woefully inadequate for more than 3 teachers. Also, there are no rooms for rent.
The
pervasive fear of ghosts haunts some pupils. This fear, perhaps symbolic of the uncertainty surrounding the future of Tanfiano DA Basic School, adds another layer of complexity to the challenges faced by both educators and pupils.
I'm saying I was school on until I'm a son. I was school and I show me say me who for parenting who cry
We are scared due to the closeness of the cemetery. We always get drenched whenever it rains because of the leaking roofs. We need help.
Who you who for? Alan. Monsieur. What's wrong then? Monsieur, I'm saying, Monsieur says someone be Pia Babachim.
If you say every car where you school more, yeah, a bus school car. You so say, yeah, a bar. Ye intimacy, ye. At times, we be free, but now, my father is she jot money, name a name of you know, soon, over bathing, I'll be for
Chris Amayao and Mr. Pia are two of the three teachers who handle the junior high school. They did not shy away from sharing their frustration.
One teacher teaching here, the voice you also hear at the same time. The children also is also listening to what different person is what teaching. So it becomes confusing. Mm-hmm. At times even a teacher may create a jokes in one of the class, whilst some of them will be here laughing. Obviously because of the nature of the structure.
In this locality, we find it difficult because the teacher, you don't have much teachers over here. So a teacher can handle even more than 2 or 3 subjects in the school here. So 3 teachers are controlling the whole of what JHS. And in the community, you can also have burden, or you can have room to get or to hire them and stay inside.
We are managing on it because if you are teaching and animals are roaming around, we cannot stop what you're doing and chase them. So we'll be teaching while they also be roaming.
In the midst of the tranquility of the cemetery, the pastoral symphony of sheep, and the chaos of passing vehicles, Tamfiano DA Basic School, according to the headmaster, stands as a testament to resilience.
With all these challenges, the students still do well in academics and competitions. So, I know that if things improve, we can do better.
Upon all these stretches, better accommodation, we can do better.
The community, undeterred by the myriad of obstacles, continue to hold on to the hope that one day their school will be transformed into a haven of education, free from the distractions that currently pervade its grounds.
And that is our latest installment of Ghana's Schools of Shame from the Tamfiano Basic School. Well, this is how we're capping off the conversation on the AM show this morning. But there's